Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Last Nights on Earth. You didn't notice that little bit of muted there, we just slipped under that like a syringe. No one noticed a thing. Welcome! Before we go around and say hello to all these wonderful faces around the screen, let's go through our links. We have Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Go and check all of those out in the chat now. You can see the links there. Discord, a safe, inclusive space where you can talk about TTRPGs and all the other wonderful things that are going on in the community right now. Twitter, send me a DM and I'll get you a game. But you've got to hurry, because we're running out of games before the end of March. We are very much nearly full for the rest of the season. So send me a game, send me a tweet, a DM, and I'll try and get you into a game. We have I don't even know what we have left at the moment, to be honest. We'll just have to talk dates. We'll just have to talk dates and schedules, and very soon we'll be getting our season 3 schedule together, and I'll be taking on dates for those too. Probably actually in March, I reckon, but that'll be soon. Also, we have a Patreon. Please check out our Patreon following this link here. You can support us over there for as little as $1 a month, and every dollar is greatly appreciated. We also have free articles over there that you can check out based on TCRPGs and all the other sorts of things, and occasionally oh no, that's awful. Britt, I'm really sorry to see that. All the love your way, and we'll try and distract you as best we can. I'm really sorry to hear about that. That's awful. And also, if you want to chat later on, let me know. I'm here for you. Sorry, sidetracked. But that is awful. Where was I? Patreon stuff. Yep. Merch. If you want to get a crest on your chest that looks very much like this one, head over to the Redbubble where you can get one now. There is also a referral link somewhere in the staff board where you can get yourself 25% off if you spend $40 or more, which happens to be around the same price as a hoodie. So if you fancy a hoodie and you want to get one for 30 quid instead of 40 quid, now's a good time. We also have sponsors in Bird and the Storm Publishing. Bird and the Storm Publishing are a module writing company who write modules for D&D and other TTRPGs. They are fantastic, and we'll be doing some stuff next season with them. Not a bad tone. We're here for you. It's not bad at all. And also we are sponsored by Mage Hand Press. Mage Hand Press created the Dark Matter Alpha, a sci-fi expansion for D&D 5e. We use it on Thursdays to play D&D in space. It's a ton of fun. We also have some stuff down in the panels. We have arasavad.com, tabletoploot.com, and ruink.com. So if you want dice, accessories, or maps, head down there and get a 10 to 15% discount. And also, we have a tweet, and every 10 retweets will give us some random potion effects. I'm slightly concerned that I haven't got my sound settings set up properly, so can I hear you guys? Yes, I can hear you. Test again. I can hear you, but chat cannot. 1 second. Yeah, I just installed some new voice software this weekend. So let's try same as system. Same as system should work. Try now. So keep up some babble for me. Okay, no. Also, I don't understand, because I can hear you, so, everyone should be able to hear you. Oh, hang on a minute. I know what it is. It's probably the settings in here. What I need to do is change that from default to that, and then head over to there, change that to that. Try now.
Second.
Hello.
Oh, okay. You suddenly sound very robotic, but what have I done?
No.
Yep. Nearly there, nearly there, nearly there.
Do it. We believe in you.
Robot overlords have taken over.
Now I have an echo. We are getting there slowly, everyone. Slowly getting there.
Please put 25 cents in. Insert coin here in order to...
Good. Here's your lesson plan. Okay. No. We are getting there, everyone. We are getting there. The new software is confusing the hell out of me, but we will get there. Let's just have a look at what voice meter is doing. Voice meter is picking up the voice meter input, so I should put you guys on voice meter input, And then I should put OBS on speakers. Try now.
Try now. Have it.
Why do I still have an echo?
I don't. Is it coming from a different area? Like, are you?
I think I know. Hang on.
Was that?
Try now. Damn it, what is going on? This is so bizarre. I don't understand what's going on. Okay, try now. It's kind of better, but you're super robotic. Like, I shouldn't even be able to hear you. It should... Try now.
In this world, we pay with cyber chips. Please bring cyber chips.
We might be good. We might be good.
Are we good?
Is it? Are we good?
Sound good now? Chat?
We're good!
Says.
What happened? What happened?
I figured it out. It was a setting. I had to turn monitoring off in OBS. So we are good. Done after that lovely little piece of audio babble there. I don't know. I should have done a test stream, I guess, or something. I guess this was the test stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for volunteering.
You did it.
Donovan, I'll hand over to you.
Hello everybody. So today we are going to play Last Nights on Earth. This is a post-apocalyptic story. It's powered by the apocalypse, which means it uses the powered by the apocalypse system and the monster of the week system, but it's a loose adaptation. It's stripped down. We're not really focusing much on the mechanics. What this game is all about is improv world building, and each week we've told a little bit more of the story of post-apocalyptic America and a brother and a sister's journey across the country in search of answers, future, and their missing sister, whether she be dead or alive. And we've met a lot of guests along the way. That's this game. I'm going to roll through this so we can get moving. Right now, I want to introduce characters Bernard, and then we'll do Raya. But first, let's meet Bernard. Tell me, have you ever played Monster of the Week before? And then let me know about Bernard, what they're good at, what playbook they're using, what the post-apocalyptic landscape has been like for them for the past 6 weeks or so.
I never played last month, Monster of the Week. Bernard, though, he's a professional, so he's part of a private entity, so to speak, trying to help wherever help is needed to build the civilization back up, so to speak. Bernard is a former military, but he didn't like the military, so to speak, because they did more harm than they helped. He believed. So this is a fresh air, whatever you call it. It's a better working situation for him, so to speak, because he's helping instead of destroying. This last 6 weeks, he has been walking to town really, and trying to help as much as he can.
So I'm interested. Is he part of an organization that gives him orders? Go here to this town. They might need your help, or is it more loose? You just go out and do the best you can. I
would say a little bit loose, but some missions might be directed, so to speak, but mainly loose.
Great. And we'll get a little bit more into what the world looks like here in a minute, but there's not a lot of towns left with people. If you find communities, they're usually very small, a dozen people, a couple of dozen people. A lot of people are on the move trying to find better places. And of course, the world is very, very dangerous. So as an ex-soldier, would you say how dangerous is Bernard?
Well, he, as I said, he used to be a military man, so he's proficient with firearms, so he can defend himself. But The private entity is more like got a policy to try to what's this live capture policy, so to speak. So he tried not to kill people if he can, but some people are more hostile than he wants them to be, so to speak. So some people need be taken care of.
So he's not against killing entirely. He's just against what he had to do in the past. That's really good to know. So I think we have what is it? Every 10 retweets for our tweet, we get a potion. We've already got our first potion. The second's coming in soon, and I will say that I rolled randomly to determine who would receive the first potion. It was Bernard, and this is what Bernard has. So think about this. And you don't have to tell me the answer right now. It doesn't have to come into play early. Right. But he has developed a psychic mutation, and we'll talk about mutations a little bit here in a minute, that allows him to shapeshift, to polymorph into one shape other than his normal form. So think about what you want that form to be so that we can bring that into play in the story. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go over and let's meet Raya.
Before we do, though, just quickly, thank you very much to Berserker Rage for the resub. I kind of missed it in all the audio things. I'm very sorry for that. Thank you for the resub. You have a reroll to gift someone of your choice. Thank you so much.
He said you could be any shape you want. Keep trying. My character's name is Raya. I'd laugh too hard. Dying.
Don't die on us already.
She is a terrible person. She has wanted the apocalypse situation her whole life, and now it happened, and she's kind of like, this is not exactly how I thought it was going to happen, and I wanted it to be better off. So she does, of course, she's been moving town to town. She never was in the military, but her family was big into guns, so she came from a very not so happy family. She is okay with stealing and taking for what she needs. She's okay with helping people if it helps herself, type person. She is notorious, so when she meets people, her name changes. But she only reveals her actual name whenever she needs some information. She's notoriously known for being a ruthless backstabber.
I mean, that's the kind of person that can make it pretty far in the apocalypse, to be honest. That's really interesting. So I'll say this, we're not here yet, but most of our story today will be taking place in a town called Wyandotte, Oklahoma. Wyandotte is a small town. It has a large, or had a large, Native American Shawnee Native population. Not reservation, but there was a casino that was the major source of income for the town. There's not much left of the town, but there is a small community there of a couple dozen individuals. And Bernard and Raya, when we meet them, they will have either recently or for a while now been part of this community, joined with the others for whatever purposes. So I'll start with Raya. Has she been in Wyandotte long, or has she just arrived?
She just arrived not too long ago. The reason for being in this area is because she was on a job originally. She was in a group for a minute, but the job went south, so she went south, or she went north, technically. So she went north to get away from that, and that's adds to her malicious content or notorious content. So she's hiding out in this town, hopefully for a little bit before it cools down, and then she may end up trying to see what she can get out of this small town. Right now, she's not too enthusiastic. She feels like she went the wrong way.
So what about Bernard?
I guess I've been here like one week and a half, something like that, and trying to we build up the community.
All right. Hey, so a couple of things about the world. The apocalypse is recent. It happened very quickly. The population and the infrastructure of the world fell apart very quickly, but it's only been about 6 weeks now since it all started. And there are two sort of havens. There's rumors that most people are traveling to New Orleans in America or to Las Vegas. Those are sort of the rumored safe havens where there's resources and infrastructure and some form of government or leadership that matters. Would either Raya or Bernard have any interest in traveling to either of those locations in the long term?
Yes.
In the
Only
long term.
only because she'll have come from her notorious story comes from, she actually started off in Texas. So you can just imagine she's going backwards to lower the threat rate and then go right back in at a slower.
Excellent. And what about Bernard?
Well, he's not aiming at it directly, so to speak, but due to the fact that it's alleged safe haven, he would assume it's a better place to be at him altogether. So I would guess New Orleans would be the target down the road.
All right. So final question then before we launch into things today. Now that Raya has more recently arrived and Bernard's been there for a week, have they had any interactions with each other?
Up to you.
I mean, what have you been up to?
Whatever you can be up to. I'm not really sure, but trying to.
I mean,
politics and stuff like that, I guess.
do you ever go out on midnight walks or what?
Doubtful, I say. I do most of my work when I can see stuff.
You can see stuff? Okay. Do you eat morning breakfast at an early bird time?
I'm an early bird, I would say, yeah.
This is starting to sound more like eHarmony than
so
midnight walks, breakfast.
So if you eat breakfast like at a very early time, you may see Raya coming back from outside.
Okay.
And she would have introduced herself as Tish. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm new from the area. Is there anything fun to do around here? Because it looks kind of boring." Type situation. So it'd be just like a passing concept.
Yeah.
And it'd be a weird situation because every time you meet her, it'd always be like, right, she'd be like a vampire-esque type concept. Why is she always out at night, coming in the crack of dawn?
Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's get into it. And we'll get into it with a little bit of a recap of the world and the story. So, no one knows where the virus came from, whether it was hatched in some secret military facility or if it was a plague sent to Earth to punish a world that had grown fat on its own corruption. All anyone knew was that Captain Trips first appeared on Christmas Eve, 2018, and by February 11th, 2019, the world as we knew it had ended. The airborne virus started like a common flu, but within 2 days, its victims' internal organs began to shut down until eventually their hearts exploded and they died. 99.87% of the world's population has died due to the virus and the collapse of society. America is now a graveyard of rotting cities and ghost towns. Corpses still litter the silent streets and abandoned homes. Strange psychic powers and wild physical mutations have infected many of those who have survived the initial virus itself. And these mutations are a great source of fear, panic, and anger for normal, unaffected survivors. There is maybe some hope on the horizon. Throughout America, there are rumors that 2 cities, Las Vegas and New Orleans, have become havens, and many are traveling across the country in hopes of finding food, security, and a better tomorrow. Let's talk about Rutherford and Celeste for a minute. Before we do the what happened last week, how are they looking? Who are they at a glance, and how are they holding up after 6 weeks of the apocalypse? And we'll start with Rutherford.
Rutherford has been sort of getting gradually increasing in physical prowess, I suppose. He's got bigger, more muscly. He's become mutated by the disease into this werewolf-like figure. His body's covered in like stretch mark scars and like other kinds of scars, and it's slowly changing color, becoming hairy and all the rest of it. But giving him a lot of physical strength and speed and that sort of thing. But until last week, he was suffering mostly psychologically, as the loss of their little sister had been plaguing his thoughts for quite a while. However, last week we found evidence that she may be in Las Vegas, right? It was Las Vegas, not New Orleans.
We'll definitely get to that here in a minute. I'll recap exactly what we learned last week. How about Celeste? How's Celeste doing?
Well, from looks, she wasn't turned too much by the virus. She just got white hair. That's basically all she can see. She is looking tougher and tougher, or more strong. She's training more, doing more. So like that. Also, probably clothes more torn, more used up, and carrying more and more weapons around, as it seems. I'm trying to collect everything at the moment. And generally, she struggles to keep it all together. She's usually very rational and focused on what has to be done, and was leader of the family, so she knew exactly what was to do. And it's hard in this world to keep it all together, especially with all the nice things thrown at the siblings. So she's fighting with herself mainly.
For now.
I will say we just hit our second retweet goal with 20 retweets. I just rolled the potion. Rutherford wins this one, and this is another good one. Bark skin is the boon that you get. I'm going to say that as Rutherford's getting larger, his mutation, he keeps growing in height, and he's becoming broader, more muscular. I'm going to give him... He already has one natural armor, correct? He has one armor?
I think so. Let's check this out. I don't know that he does. He might not have any armor. Where do you find the armor stat?
So there's no stat, but if you take a look at your character sheet, you'll look down on the right side where it says gear, or any of his, he has preternatural speed. Some of his abilities might give him armor.
I don't think he has armor.
No, I have no armor.
I don't think he does.
Armor.
Well,
No,
now
I
he
don't.
has one armor as his skin is getting physically thicker as he continues to mutate and become more wolf-like and less human-like.
Okay. I'm just going to put that in my other gear thing.
Yeah.
One armor from potion. The only thing I do have which is similar is the immortal thing, where like whenever I suffer one harm, I suffer one less, and I do not age or sicken.
Fantastic. So, with that said, let's talk about today, because we're going to begin our story today just outside of a secret government laboratory in Daniel Boone National Forest, where we ended last week. This is in Kentucky. Celeste and Rutherford, you managed to miraculously find and rescue your friends from New York, Chris and Jessica, along with a new friend, Amos. All three of them were powerful psychics that were being experimented on inside the laboratory. You'd come there on the trail of the figures, the werewolves, who had kidnapped them and maybe your sister, Cassie, as well, if she still lives, only to find the werewolves themselves had in turn been captured and killed inside their cells in the lab. To escape, you had to survive a strange phantom of a deranged young boy named Joseph, or Joey, one that you thought you'd already watched die a week before in Pittsburgh. And Celeste, the apparition of a man you've come to know as Randall Flagg. He wears cowboy boots, blue jeans, and a blue jean jacket. In the lab, you learn that what remains of the government, the United States government, is researching mutants to see if their powers will continue to evolve, if they're going to become more dangerous and more of a threat to humanity. You also learn that what's left of the government has labs in Wyandotte, Oklahoma, and New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, the other major haven, Las Vegas, is said to be under the control of Randall Flagg, and the government seems to consider him and his community there to be extremely dangerous. So, Celeste, as you watch Chris, Amos, and Jessica drive off towards Cumberland to warn your friends in Maryland not to go to Las Vegas, that Las Vegas is too dangerous, you recall what you learned the night before. Dr. Kingman's last words were to keep Jessica away from New Orleans. But you and Rutherford also saw your missing sister's name on a list of Las Vegas residents, the sister he believes to still be alive and you believe to be dead. So it's morning now, and it's warm for February and rainy, and the two of you find yourselves inside the front of your armored van with a decision to make.
Celeste, this can only be seen as good news. We have found evidence that she is alive. She is in Las Vegas. We have to go to Las Vegas.
She can't be alive. And you run right for him into a trap and being killed? Or
No.
used?
No, not right into the trap, but Cassie could already be trapped. We have to save her.
I really think she's dead, Rutherford. I'm really sorry to say that, but I've seen her right after she was taken as ghost. She followed me around for a while and she's gone now. She hasn't shown up anymore. I'm honestly thinking she is gone. Also think about how many people died. What are the odds of all of us three
No.
surviving? It's amazing enough that we are all here.
No. You have not said anything about this before.
I
Look,
didn't
her name's
wanna-
right here on the sheet.
I didn't want to worry you, but I'm sure Flagg is playing tricks, as he's done the whole time.
But
I
look,
really
it's,
don't think we should go to Vegas. It's probably as worst as going to New Orleans.
but all this time we were going from place to place to look for Cassie. How can you possibly think that they were dead?
I just didn't say anything to you. I wasn't looking for Cassie. I was just looking for places to go, helping people, and then finding our friends. I'm still want to find our friends. We are still missing Mel. We have no idea where Desiree went. And we've seen that they're experimenting on people.
And possibly Cassie in Las Vegas. Maybe that's why you were seeing her. Maybe she was being experimented on, and it gave her powers. We've seen people with powers like this, like the little boy who can do things and such. Maybe that's what's happened. We can't leave it. Look, her name's right there, Las Vegas.
I've seen it on the list. I have no idea how it got there. Honestly, it could be also just someone else with the same name. It's not that we have that unique of a name. And she disappeared. I'm sure she vanished. And I don't want to get near Flagg. It's hard enough to stay sane with him around here. The closer we get, the more powerful he'll probably be.
Are you driving right now, or are the two of you having this conversation in a parked van?
Up to Celeste.
I think she would still... No, she would drive.
Make me a weird check, Celeste.
Oh, God. Every time you say that check, I freaked out. No.
You're having this conversation, the headlights shining through a pretty steady rain begin to flicker, and then your van stalls out for a minute on the side of the road.
Look, it's a sign. It must be a sign.
It's him again. She would just in thought basically yell at Flagg to get out and leave them alone. Whatever that will do, but...
Make me a cool check.
Thank you very much, Kentucky Hawkeye, who gifts re-rolls to Rhea and Raya and Bernard.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you call out, yell at Flagg. an invisible force, a force that may or may not be there. Nothing happens for a couple of long seconds, and then the car starts up again without you having to turn the key. The lights flicker back on.
I hate this guy.
Rutherford's sort of like been looking down. So you mean to say all this time we have been looking for Cassie, you have just been stringing me along, lying to me? Why didn't you tell me that you could see her? Why didn't you tell me about... Why couldn't I see her?
I have no idea why you couldn't see her, and for me it was a blessing to have her around for a little bit to keep me steady. And I had the feeling you needed a goal just to move on and get through this and get used to what you are now.
Well, maybe I am not the problem. You can see how the disease has affected me. Perhaps it has affected you too. Maybe these are just delusions.
I doubt that Flag are delusions, sadly enough. That would be nice, but you've seen him as well, or at least Amos has seen him as well. And for Cassie, I really... It doesn't make any sense that she is there. And honestly, I pray to whoever is up there, probably no one, that she is not near Flag.
Haven't we been hearing call-outs that this could be a safe haven? It makes plenty of sense that you would go there.
But we also learned with what you found that it's definitely his safe haven, and he is not safe around.
Well, yes, but if you have been separated from your family and you want to rejoin them, where would you go? Would you wander the woods randomly like we have been? Or would you do what we have also been doing, which is making your way to a safe haven? What if she got there before all of this weirdness went on? Maybe she didn't have any of these problems.
You really see our little sister dragged away by werewolves, traveling everywhere alone? And the werewolves around didn't go to Vegas, they went to New Orleans or stayed around here. I just don't want to die or get used by Flag, and I for sure don't want to lose you as well. It's hard enough to be without Cassie.
I would rather die than accept that Cassie is dead. We could at least look for the body.
Then we need to get back home, because we would need to start there. We don't know where she's been dragged off. We just know she was dragged away by werewolves. She would drive quite slowly, not really, because she knows she's not really focusing on everything. So
All of this time we've been looking for Cassie, or I have been looking for Cassie, whilst you keep feeding me this goal. And now we have found something. This cannot be coincidence.
it's not. It's Flag.
You know I don't understand all of this Flag business.
I don't either. I just know he is creepy as hell, and I don't like him inside of my head. And look
Both
at
of
what
you.
he's done to the lab. It was his doing.
Both of you can roll me sharp checks.
I want to level up, as it seems.
Don't worry about it.
It's the worst, and you know it.
I know. If nothing comes afterwards, that's always a good thing. I'm sorry I lied to you. I'm really sorry. This is all weird, and I don't know what to do. Every step seems wrong.
I don't know why Flag is taking an interest in you. But we're
I
going
don't
to have to resolve the situation one way or another. Might as well go and meet it head on before he has time to prepare and become even more powerful.
He knows where we are going, I'm quite sure.
Of course, so he will know what our every step is, so give him the least amount of time to prepare things as possible. Head straight for him.
And do what? We can't touch him.
We've done surprisingly well.
With help of friends.
Well, let's gather some friends. There's got to be more people outside of the area of Las Vegas that are cautious.
I'm not sure we'll get to a point to decide on what to do now. But if you are okay with that, I would like to check out more of these labs and see if we can find our friends or help others or save them from Flack, because I could imagine him going through the other labs as he did through this one. And there is one in the direction of Vegas. It's not in Vegas, but at least in the direction. As compromise, let's go there, see if we can find our friends, which would be nice to have them around. Having Desiree and Mel would be really nice. And we can both think about it a bit more and maybe discuss.
It's in the direction of Las Vegas, then yes. I see it more as putting off the decision than making one, though.
I don't think we will make a decision today.
I think that is fair.
Okay.
And so you've decided to drive to the lab outside of Wyandotte. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so you understand the position, you could get to New Orleans from where you are a little faster without driving as far west as Oklahoma. But Wyandotte is sort of somewhere between Vegas and Oklahoma. It doesn't necessarily represent a final decision, but a good halfway point. However, just like with the rest of your trip, it takes you a while to get there. You have to move cars. You have to stop constantly to get cars off the road, to avoid collapsed buildings and bridges. The infrastructure of America has fallen apart in the weeks that followed the apocalypse. But you do get there, and we're going to cut forward to about a week later now. You arrive in the little town of Wyandotte, Oklahoma. This is where you know that there's a government lab. And as you roll through the town, just like all of the other towns that you've seen, the cities you've driven through, it's rainy, and there's not a lot to suggest there's life here. There are people still dead in many towns across America, laying out in the street or in their cars. But if there's anything to suggest that there's something here beyond just a ghost town, it's that when you reach Wyandotte itself, all of the dead, you don't see them. It's like they've been removed from the street or taken out of their cars. It's actually pretty easy to get around once you get into town. The cars are parked off to the side. They've been pulled out of the middle of the roads. This is definitely a place that has either seen a lot of travel through it or still has people living there.
Someone has cleaned this area up.
The question is, were these the lab people or are there survivors?
I imagine either way we'll find out soon.
Keep an eye open if you see anything where we can maybe restock on food, drinks, whatever we can find.
Rutherford, roll me a sharp check.
Oh boy.
I know it's his best trait.
I couldn't have possibly rolled any worse.
I didn't see it pop up.
I don't see anything either.
Maybe it's something. What did you roll?
I rolled a 2.
Oh God.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Looks like another town to you. Maybe it's that over the past week, I imagine they've continued to argue about what to do next. There's a lot of anxiety between the brother and the sister. and that even though you're reaching a destination that seems arbitrary or temporary, that argument still hangs over both of your minds that once you leave this place, you're going to have to make a decision that's coming. And then, Celeste, you go ahead and roll me a sharp check as well.
Okay, and Donna got a Sarah error, so I restarted roll 20, and now I see Scrat's roll.
Oh, I see it now too, yeah.
Sharp. It's a theme. Great.
Y'all are doing great. I'll say this with the 7. You don't get a great layout of the town itself if you're looking for food, but one thing that you will see because it stands out is that there's an old movie theater. The Shinoa Theater was the title of it, and it's one of those old timey. It's not modern like a Cinemark Plaza or something like that. It looks like at one point they probably had like radio plays there or whatnot. It has the flickering light billboard, and it's lit up. Unlike the other buildings in town, the billboard of this movie theater is glowing like a beacon in the middle of the town. And where you would normally see a movie title, you only see the words, "God is hope."
Raised eyebrow. I guess survivors. That doesn't look like lab people did that. Do you want to check it out? Should I check it out? I'm not sure if it's good if you run right in there.
You take point, I'll stay behind. If you need extraction, I'll grab you.
Okay. I will park in front of the theater. Can I test-wise just hit the horn and see if anything happens before I go in?
Absolutely. You hit the horn.
Mm-hmm.
Raya and Bernard, roll me sharp checks.
What are you doing, Celeste? You let anyone know we are here. I thought you wanted to keep quiet.
I'm tired of sneaking around. If there are survivors, let them come out. Oh God, roll 20 likes us today.
Nobody comes out when you hit the horn, Celeste.
Either they're deaf or no one is there.
Or they are cautious.
True.
They could be hiding, laying traps. If they have been lab researchers, if they are survivors, they could be hiding in case there are more coming to pick them up. If they are lab experimenters, maybe they are laying their nooses.
I will yell if I need help. I will
won't
get
be
out
too
of the
far
car,
behind.
probably jack it up since it's still raining, and go for the front door. Seeing if it's
All
open.
right.
Just carefully opening in. If it's
So
open or if it's locked.
the front door is open, is unlocked, and at this point, we'll bring in Ryan and Bernard. Let's start with Bernard. Where is Bernard right now? And I'll let you know that he's been staying inside the theater, whether he's there.
I guess somewhere in the back, so to speak, where we keep supplies of some sorts. Just checking the supplies, doing stock check, whatever you call it.
Bernard, you would know that there was a food run. The small group went out the day before on a food run, and they haven't come back yet, which is strange because it's a small town. They should have been back in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of anxiety in the little community, which we'll get to in a minute.
Is everybody in town living in the cinema, or is it?
Everyone except for the people who were missing.
All right.
Everybody's moved into, and like I said, it's just a couple dozen people. It's a very small community, larger than most. There's not a lot of these places left, but it's a small haven compared to some of the larger ones. Raya, where's Raya at the moment? Or Tish? Is that what she's calling herself now?
Yeah, right now it's Tish. Right now it's Tish. What time is it right now? What time of the day is it?
It's just after noon.
Oh, she's sleeping right now. She's been out all night trying to make ends meet out of this one horse town, hoping to get as much parts as possible for things.
All right. And where does she sleep in the movie theater? Like, what's her go-to place?
All the way up where the movie is being played, and she puts a chair underneath the lock because she knows, as a well-known person, if you stab someone in the back, it's going to come around sometimes. She's going to put that chair right there so it doesn't come around as fast.
So she's locked herself in the real room where the movie's actually projecting through the window. So Celeste, the door swings open for you, and there's nobody there, but you can hear some piping music. It sounds old and orchestral, kind of gothic, coming from what you imagine is this small theater's only viewing room. It only has one screen, and nobody is out in the lobby at the moment to greet you.
Still have my pistol in my hand, but not like drawn up, but still in my hand, just that I could react because I still don't know. I would just carefully step inside and just like, hello, anyone here?
Bernard, would he hear her, or is he too far away?
I would say he's too far away. I mean, he's
All right.
further in.
And what's Rutherford doing as Celeste enters?
Rutherford will wait by the front door. He will count to a steady count of 10, not a rushed count, a steady count, and then he will follow up behind.
So the two of you enter into the movie theater, and Celeste calls out, and it's just a couple of seconds later that the door to the viewing room opens up, and an older, dark-skinned man wearing a ragged denim shirt and denim pants of two different colors. One shirt that's black and pants that are blue comes out, and he's got a bandana wrapped around his head, and he kind of gives you an old look, wary, says, hello.
We are on the drive-through. We were just curious if there are survivors here, and I will just really obviously put my weapon away.
Yes, welcome to Wyandotte. We have people here. Please, no need for weapons. And he's looking from Celeste to Rutherford because Rutherford is large and scary looking.
Don't worry, he's my brother. He looks scary, but he will not harm anyone.
Yes, well, I understand you're saying so, but we've had some run-ins with some that looked like him, and we trusted them, and we paid for it.
Us
We are
too.
actually looking for exactly guys like these because we had troubles with them. They took some friends of ours.
Is that right? Are you from around here?
We are
Your
from
accents.
the East Coast. We're from Jersey, so quite a travel so far.
Well, you're welcome to come in. I'm Alvin.
I'm Celeste.
Sort of the
This is
Celeste.
Rutherford.
Nice to meet you, Celeste. Rutherford. I'm the unofficial leader here of our little community.
How many do you number?
What was that, fella?
How many do you number?
Oh, just over 20 now. A few of us are out doing a supply run. Haven't returned yet.
That is a significant number.
It's quite
Thank you. We take care of our own here in Wyandotte. It's the way it's always had to be.
Are there any people who need some medical support? I could maybe help if needed.
Oh, that is a useful skill. Please come in. We have a little girl who's running a fever inside. We were hoping we would get some medicine for her, but like I said, the supply run hasn't returned yet.
Don, would I have found a few things, just like some ibuprofen, aspirins, whatever, in the lab? Because I'm quite sure I would have stocked up a bit.
Roll me. What do you roll for medicine? Do you roll sharp?
Cool.
Or do you roll, is it cool?
Let me see. Yeah, cool.
Roll me cool. Let's see. Let's see exactly how much.
I want to change to real die. What the
Oh,
hell?
man. I don't think you guys have not had it easy so far.
Hey, I'm leveling up. At least that's happening.
You found some supplies, but I think maybe Chris and Jessica took some of them, and then you found a lot less than you were hoping to. So right now you would have Advil, but you wouldn't have any antibiotics or anything like that.
Okay, but
Any
I could
prescription
try at
medication.
least to maybe help. I might have something in the car. I will have a look at her and maybe grab some stuff.
Yeah, all right. Come on in. I'll gather everyone around. We all like to introduce ourselves to each other. I'll be with you in just a minute. And he ushers you inside into the viewing room, and you can see an old black and white silent movie being projected on the screen. If you're familiar, it's the long shadows and the crooked face and the gnarled arm of the vampire. It's Nosferatu. And light organ music is piping quietly, and you can still speak over it and have a conversation over it. It's at this point that Bernard, you would probably maybe be coming out of the little area where they're keeping supplies. You'd see Rutherford and Celeste there, and Alvin will disappear and start to climb up to the room where he knows Raya is sleeping. We'll cut to Raya in a minute here, but I'll give you a chance, Bernard, to introduce yourself.
Well, as I enter this viewing room, I guess I see Rutherford first because he's a big person type. Where do you come from? You're the biggest I think I ever seen.
I come from the East Coast. We've been traveling for several weeks. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm Bernard. I'm trying to help this community as best I can.
You look capable.
Well, I have training in my former life.
Good. Looks to Celeste like.
I'm surprised. Not direct attack. That's something. We're getting there. I will just wave. I'm Celeste. This is my brother Rutherford. We are on a search for werewolves and some friends.
So they're not the same? Because I just assumed through your
No, the werewolves are the bad ones
okay.
that we are searching for. We heard from Alban that you had some troubles with maybe some of the same group.
Potentially, I mean, I'm not really sure.
Because some werewolves took our friends and we are searching for them.
That's a good course, I guess what I would say.
We found some of them in the lab at the last place in the forest.
Yeah, that would be, if you maybe know, or we can also wait for the rest, but we're looking for a lab run by, well, whatever state is left. But the facility must have been
Would I know this, Tom?
You've not heard of a lab in town.
I wouldn't know anything about the lab. Sorry to disappoint you.
No worries. I'm quite sure they hid it well as the last one.
Well, if you found it, can't be that hidden.
Well, we found people that ran from it, so they knew their way back.
That would be a dead giveaway.
the people who are gathered here, they're very friendly. They introduce themselves, but they also look gaunt, hungry. Though there are survivors here, they might not be doing that well. There is a little girl who's very sick. She's wrapped in several blankets, too weak to stand up to actually properly greet Celeste and Rutherford. But Bernard, you would know that the situation here is that people are hungry, supplies are low. The supply run you went out on the day before that a small group did, it was really important. And them not coming back is not only problematic because that's 4 members, capable fighting members of your little community that are missing, but also you really needed those supplies.
I don't think we would have enough to really share much. I would guess we would have enough for us too, but I would probably ask Rutherford if he wants to maybe sit down and look less giant. And I would go slowly for the girl and just looking at Albin. I guess that's her. I would just like to have a look, have some medical training. Just
feel free.
if it's something bad or just like the flu.
How are you doing? How are you doing for food supplies? I could maybe go and hunt rather than sit. I like to feel useful.
Oh, if you're capable to do that, feel free, I would say.
You could say that I have mutated into it.
I would assume so.
Okay, I'll be back soon.
Get a worried look from your sister, but she will not even say be careful.
Celeste, go ahead and make me a cool check here. And this girl's not showing signs of the flu, so no worries there. But give me a cool check and we'll see if we can diagnose her.
I'm scared to death through all this. I don't want to damage the girl. What on earth is this today?
So I will say we have Bernard and Raya. You both have rerolls, and the way rerolls work this season is that you can use them to reroll after you roll. You don't have to announce it ahead of time, or you can gift it to somebody else. Even me, if you want, you can even say, "Hey, you give this to somebody," or if I get rerolls, if people give me rerolls, then I can have you guys reroll a good roll and hope you guys get a 4. This 4, you're not sure what's wrong with her. You don't think it's the flu, but you're not real sure. She definitely needs some kind of medical attention or medicine. She's very weak. She does smile up at you. And as this is happening, I'm going to cut away for a second. But before we do, thank you, Mal, for giving Celeste the potion. I rolled the potion, and it is save or die poison. So Celeste,
Ooh. Thanks, Mel.
Make me a tough check.
Oh God.
This is good. Only end that.
Tough is my good stat, but with roll 20, it will still be red. I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
That is a success with a complication. And as you're checking out this girl, Celeste, you cough. Great. It could just be a simple cough, but you have a lingering tickle in the back of your throat afterwards. You cut away from you for a moment and go up to the projector room. Raya, you're asleep up there, but you hear the door rattling against the chair that you've set out. And it sort of wakes you up.
I lean forward a little bit in the current chair I'm in, and I say, "Who goes there?"
Tish, it's
I'm sorry.
Alvin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got myself a little bit out of carried away. You know, just don't like waking up randomly. I'm so sorry, old man. I mean,
Not that old. I'm very capable, actually.
I'm sorry. I'm just so grouchy in the morning. How can I help you?
We have some newcomers, newest since you arrived, actually, and I was hoping you would come down and say hello. They seem like nice folks. Now, just to warn you, one of them is a werewolf, so don't be put off by him. I think he's a good person beneath all the fur.
I guess, I mean, I would love to come meet the new people. You have a great taste for people around here, so I think I trust you.
Well, all
Is it
right.
Is it okay if I just need to tidy up this room for a minute? If you could I will meet you down there.
All right. Well, hurry up now, and we'll have ourselves a little meeting and maybe a snack too. And he heads back down the stairs. What's Raya do?
She's scrambling for everything that she'd got last night, and she's putting it in her backpack, and she's tying it real tight so no one can see. And she's like, okay, and she looks around real quick. She's like, I gotta put this somewhere no one will notice. So she takes apart the little thing, the stand for the movie thing, and she stuffs it in there real quick. Puts it back in.
And what kind of supplies does she have in the bag?
Oh, we're talking like anything that she could get a hold of. We're talking like omega-3, like stuff like that, vitamins, because she knows she's gonna need it. Because her long travels. Fish oil, vaccines, because she knows it's cheap, easy to get it from the corner store, easy, and it helps with any type of fluid, just anything she can hold. Rags.
So probably things that the rest of the community needs.
It's mine. I took it fair and square.
All right.
And if anyone caught her with it, she would say otherwise. She was just merely saving it for dire situations.
So she stuffs it in there and hides it, and before she comes down to join the others, Rutherford, right as you're about to walk out the back of the movie theater, Alvin comes back down the stairs, and he's standing there in the doorway. He's, oh, where are you going?
To Rutherford, this is.
Yeah, big fella.
I am going to hunt.
Oh, hunt to be.
Yes.
Like animals.
Yes, perhaps a deer if I am lucky. Or maybe a boar.
Are you a good hunter then? A good tracker?
No, but I'm very quick.
Roll me a let's call it a charm check.
Oh boy.
He kind of gives you an appraising look. He's not sure if he believes you or not. He says, well, if you're going out, maybe you can keep an eye out for my missing group. Whatever happened to them, I worry about them. It's a small town, and they've been gone for over a day now.
Yes, if you like, I can follow the same route that they left with. Which direction did they head?
Well, they usually do a small little circle in the middle of town. They hit the Whole Foods there, and then they circle around to the town square where the town hall is, and come around to the little doctor's office. And we only take what we need, just in case other survivors are coming through town. They need supplies as well.
Hang on a moment. You're telling me they did not even leave the town?
No, I don't think so. They were just supposed to do a supply run.
But this place is so small.
I know. That's what I said.
Would I hear them talking?
I would say Bernard and Celeste, you'd probably hear him talking. Tish is probably about down the stairs at this point, so she might not be in view, but she probably hears the end of this conversation right now.
And she's thinking to herself for a minute, and she's like, oh, please, are those the people that I attacked last night? No. I would have known. Those are the ones I did not push in the back. I know I got those. Okay.
You're
Okay.
pretty sure that it was an outsider group.
Exactly. Like,
I would
I
just
will-
quickly to the girl say, I will get something for you that might help, and go over to my brother and the rest and Alvin. They've gone missing here. Rather,
Yeah.
maybe we should have a check together.
Yes, I did not realize that they'd gone missing inside the town. At the very least, we can head to the doctor's surgery.
Yeah, at least we can make a circle through town. That will be quick and easy.
Yeah. Oh, well, we stop by the doctor's surgery. The little girl needs help, so. And perhaps there'll be some things there that we can use too.
One question: we are looking for a lab that must be around here. I'm not sure if you're from here, but do you know if there's anything that an old lab or something?
I've lived in Wyandotte my entire life. You have two parts of the town. You have the town proper, and then you have the native area around the casino. Still an equal part of the town, but what sort of lab are you talking about?
It at least is now state facility. I guess it was before as well. Do you know anything about an area that was closed off where you couldn't go?
No, everything's pretty open here. Everyone knows each other. The only place that is sort of tight security would be Indigo Sky.
That sounds interesting.
Oh, it's just the Eastern Shawnee, their casino.
I guess we might have a look as well.
You can't miss it. You just go follow the signs from the center of town. It's just outside, and the largest building around here. But I don't know that our people would have gone there. It's considered, some of us are superstitious. We've heard strange things happening at Indigo Sky since the world sort of fell apart.
That sounds like the right place. Maybe not to look, I hope not for your people, but might help finding what we are searching for. And if the lab is there, it might be that we can find more medical supplies that would be useful for you guys.
Yeah.
And
Well,
maybe
I'm
some weapons.
happy to go with you. Bernard, would you accompany us? And at this point, has Tish come out?
yeah, she's about out there. She's listening quietly.
Yeah,
And she's thinking to herself, she's like, that sounds like a prime place to hit up, man. She's like, and these people are gonna go. They look like freaking easy fodder. Let's go. She puts up her hand a little bit and she's like, I don't think it's safe for you to go alone. If it's okay, Gramps, do you want me to go with them and see what's up?
We should just have people that know how to fight and maybe fire a weapon. If
He
the lab
pulls out a pistol himself that he's
Okay.
got tucked underneath his denim shirt. I had been shooting my entire life. Bernard there, he's capable, and Tish, are you able to fight if something happens?
I feel like I just need to go get my bag just to make sure that I have everything. But I think that I can handle myself, especially with you guys around.
All right. Bernard, what do you think about all this?
Well, due to the fact our people are missing, I would say we need to do a rescue mission of sorts. So let me just get my gear and we should be heading out.
Well, of course. And I think we should listen to Bernard. I think he might have a good idea of where to start. He's experienced. He used to be, you were a soldier, yes? So
Yes, I was in the military. That's correct.
That definitely will not be bad, but I would guess you should stay here because someone needs to watch out for the people still. We can't leave them unprotected.
Well, all right. But If you find anything at all, please let me know.
We will definitely come back.
Obviously.
And
She-
if we
she-
find things for the
She's ru-
community, we will bring them back.
Run upstairs to get her bag because immediately like you hear like some swearing upstairs, and but you know you're not really sure because the voice tone's a little bit different. And she's like, "Stop!" Because she can't get it out as easily as she put it in. You're like a crashing sound. Pulls it out real quick. She goes right downstairs. She looks a little tired. Her hair's all frazzled a little bit. She's got a baseball bat pushed out here. She's like, "Okay, I'm ready."
Could I lean into Alvin? She sounds a bit too excited for this.
She's like, "Gramps, are you coming or are you staying? It's probably best you stay here because you're the best shot."
I'll stay behind. Just please, it's very important that we find our people. And if you find them, I'll help you look for this lab or whatever it is, whatever you need. But please, Bernard, people are getting scared.
And we will do our best, I assure you.
All right. Well, where will you start your search?
Where would I start my search?
The question is this walking distance or should we drive?
I would say walking distance. It's not that big of a town.
Okay.
And there's the supply run is not that a wide circle from this building.
And if we are discovering people who have maybe encountered some of our not so friends, it would be good to be stealthy.
You say walking distance. Did you bring a car? Is that how you got here?
Yes, it's outside. Oh, and Celeste will just run off, get some of the Advil, run back in, give it to the kid, not to forget it.
She
Roll me a
peers out when the door comes open to see the car. She's going to
Roll me a cool check, Celeste.
Oh God.
The kid seems to be quietly thankful as you give her some Advil. But again, that you find yourself starting to cough. This one a little chestier, a little harder than before.
She will ignore that. It's nothing. And then she would get back to the car, open the trunk, and probably armor up a bit because just a pistol is not enough. So she will have the assault rifle on her back now and her hunting rifle out and just close the trunk. And we'll leave the car where it is.
All right. So Alvin goes back and gathers everyone. He kind of is telling them what's going to happen. They don't have much food, but he does set out some snacks and allows you guys to take your pick. These are bags of chips, things you would find at a gas station. Not great food, but some sort of sustenance. And then as you set off together, where are you headed on foot?
I will say the local supermarket first, maybe.
Yeah, first do the route that the missing
Yeah.
people would usually do. And if we find anything that looks like doctor or so, also peek in. But
You start at the beginning of their route then, which was the grocery store. It's about a 20-minute walk from the theater. Not super long. It's a small town, but it's not that small. It does take you 20 minutes to get there. As you're walking through the town streets, again, what strikes you, Rutherford and Celeste, is how much effort must have been given to clearing out this town, taking care of all the bodies. You've yet to see a dead body as you're moving through here. And Bernard, you would know, probably not Raya, because she's new as well, but Bernard, having been here a week, you would know that this community used to be larger. Many people have left the community, moving on to New Orleans or to Las Vegas over the past number of weeks, even before Bernard got there. But when it was at its largest, it was run by more of the Shawnee survivors, the Native American survivors, and most of them have moved on at this point. But they took great care to gather up all the dead and to give them all proper funeral rites. It took a lot of time. The big story is that this is this is why the community still exists, because they went out of their way to do what's right, and that the rest of the world has turned its back on those that have fallen, and that's why everybody else is suffering.
So is this in the area that we're walking? Like,
So it's a dusty street of an abandoned ghost town. There are cars set off to the side of the road, but there aren't people. It's clean relatively compared to other towns.
okay, okay,
You
good.
did a
good.
really good job here. I haven't seen a place that looks as normal as possible in a long time.
Well, the local Indians took pride in their work, so to speak, I would say. They make sure that the people got the rest they needed.
It's nice to see that there are still decent people out here.
Indeed.
Just gotta know where to look. That's all. Just gotta know where to look.
A lot of you arrive to the grocery store, the Whole Foods, and it's immediately striking. The front of the store has collapsed inward. The front wall is completely gone. It looks as though maybe an explosion or something just rocked the front of this building. Very different than everything else around it. And Bernard, you've been out and about. You've been through this town for a week. You've seen the Whole Foods before. It didn't used to look like this.
So did it happen whilst I was here?
It must have happened since you've been here, yeah.
Correct.
Did that?
What happened here?
What happened here?
I'm not entirely sure. We heard a big bang one night, and it looked like this one morning, like 5 days ago, maybe.
I would still say let's have a look inside if we can and see if we find anything or anyone.
All right. How are you approaching?
Is the front then basically open? You can climb over things and go right in?
Yeah, it's a little tricky. It's not easy to climb over the rubble, but you could probably climb in through the rubble. The ceiling for the back half of the building is still intact.
Where do we usually enter? Because I assume I would know a safer route in.
So you would usually enter probably from the front, where there's two glass door entrances. That's collapsed, but you would also know that there is a loading dock in the back that you've kept unlocked in the past for trips there.
I will say that while they're focusing on that, Raya's gonna be moving towards that way, like quietly, thinking to herself, "It's okay. I'll just meet him up in the front. They won't even notice I'm gone." she's already.
It's her.
Like everybody
She's sneaking off. Does she have do you have a move that does that?
No, like she's like I said, she's just like in character, thinking to herself, "They're obviously focused." She's heading towards in. She's gonna go around.
Cool.
So you want to crawl in, or do you want to go in from the back? That's still well, not enough.
Yeah.
I don't see her, I guess.
She just you guys don't. She's gone.
You didn't get this slick by being slow. You gotta be quick to be this slick.
Well, if there's a safer way in, I would guess. Let's go around.
There's no point in taking chances. Where did Raya go?
Where did Raya go?
Yeah.
Tish. Where did Tish
Oh,
go?
Tish. Right, we know her on the Tish.
Oh yeah, Tish. My bad. I read whatever's at the bottom of the screen.
You're
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
You're fine. I went straight for the back door. Like we're talking beeline. I take a rock. Okay, when I get to the door, soon before them, and I hit it a little bit. I just want to make it enough noise that if there's something in there, that it's gonna know. And I'm gonna lay against the wall real quick. So if it comes, it's gonna come that way.
With a 13 cool check, you hit it. You lay against the wall. You don't hear anything.
Sweet. And I move in. I move in. They're going. Let's go.
We'll say Tish enters first before the other three catch up because she's cooled her way to the front.
Excited as heck.
Inside, this is what was once a nice grocery store. In this town, there's probably several grocery stores. This is the largest and the nicest, or it was. Now it's obviously partially collapsed. In the back, where you move through where they've kept extra things stored, boxes and such. There's still some boxes left. There's still some storage, supplies, food, other things that you'd find in the grocery store. Does she stay in the storage or does she move into the grocery store proper?
So first she's gonna head towards the basics. There's always like a little scenic map in the back that tells you what's being stored here and there and there. And she's gonna try to calculate, is there a pharmaceutical in this grocery store? Most time there's pharmaceuticals. Okay, she's gonna head there first because there's gonna be like narcotics and stuff like that in that direction. Super easy to use on other people for other reasons. She is going to push a box a little bit astray to where she's going, so it doesn't look like she's gone that way, and she's gonna head that direction.
So she swings open the doors. You actually go into the grocery store itself towards the pharmacy.
Yep. Well, their storage area. Yep. That's what I'm looking for.
Roll me a sharp check.
A sharp check. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're able to find it. You're able to find the pharmaceutical storage pretty quickly and quietly, without having to actually go into the store itself. You're able to get your hands on some supplies. What does she grab first?
I'm looking for needles. I'm looking for Xanax. I'm looking for. We're talking all the basic stuff that you can slip in, make someone fall asleep. You can. We're talking some heavy duty antibiotics and stuff like that to avoid anything for her in the precursor. She's just putting all those things in there.
So amoxicillin, penicillin, you're able to find a little bit of that. Some of that's obviously already been taken. That's high value items. But also some clonazepam, some Xanax, things of that nature. And it's at that point, as she's back there, the rest of you find, has she closed the back door behind her? Or did she leave it open?
She would have closed it, but not only would she have closed it, but she's gonna put what looks like little shrapnel, a little bit going on the outside, so it looks like whatever was on this side busted through that side.
Okay, all right.
So something would have been going that way.
Make me one more. Make me a sharp check.
Sharp check. Here we go. Don't fail me now. The dice giveth and taketh away.
That was actually tough. What is your sharp bonus?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Let's see. It is 1.
Okay, cool. So it's the 7, same result. So in Powered by the Apocalypse, anything less than a 7 is bad. Anything 7 to 9 means you succeed, but with a complication. Anything 10 and above is super good. So this is a success with a complication. And so as the other 3 of you are approaching the storage door, you see that the shrapnel has been laid out in front of it. It looks like something is busted out of this door, but the door itself is still shut.
This is not how I left it last time.
We should be careful, but I'm really curious where.
I opened the door slowly to check in.
I will carefully step in with rifle up.
You see storage area, boxes, food crates, everything well labeled and organized for the most part. It's been ransacked a little bit, but there's still some sort of organization here. And Bernard, you would know, probably having gone on runs before, that it is important to the people of Wyandotte that they only take what they need. And therefore, they don't ransack the entire place. They try to make sure there's supplies for folks who are traveling through town or might need something in an emergency situation. You do not see Tish yet.
Well, no sign of Tish and no sign of anybody else. Shall we continue further in?
Let's see if someone is in here, and if not, move on. Or if we find traces of the missing people. She would
Where?
go inside of the store, I would guess. Just like carefully stepping in, having a look around if there's anyone in there, or if she can find anything that leads to someone was, I don't know, attacked, kidnapped.
Roll me a weird check.
Oh no.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love the experience I'm getting this.
Oh, come on.
Better.
All right. And what's Rutherford doing in the meantime?
Rutherford is kind of hanging back, looking behind them. He's perhaps sensing Bernard's unease, so he's watching for an ambush.
All right. Roll me a sharp check.
Why do I make him do these things?
You don't sense an ambush coming from behind you, or as you kind of keep a lookout, you haven't heard footsteps or seen anybody ghosting you, but you do, as Celeste opens up the swinging double doors that lead into the grocery store proper, smell that sharp coppery tint of blood, a smell that you've become more and more accustomed to over the past weeks, Rutherford. And Celeste, Bernard, as you step into the grocery store, it's collapsed in the front. That has knocked over aisles, and any organization that exists in the back is not present here. It's a complete disaster. As a matter of fact, you can see now that the ground itself appears to be upheaved as though there were an earthquake or something exploded upward somehow. And you see too, Bernard, 4 people, what's left of them, their body parts are painted across what's left of the grocery store. You find, just glancing around, a hand here, a leg there, and the ground is just streaked with blood. And however they got to be all over the place, you can't even begin to imagine. However, you know that these were your people. These were the 4 that went out yesterday, the 4 that are missing.
Okay, then this is the people we're looking for, so at least we found them. Unfortunately, in this state.
What happened here?
And the blood is kind of fresh as well, so I don't like this at all.
Celeste, with a failed weird check, you sense it first. Feels like a tremor. The floor beneath you shakes for a moment. It's strange. It feels uneasy.
I'll look to Bernard. Did you feel that?
Feel what?
Felt the earth moving.
Like an earthquake?
Like a weak one?
No, I can't say I did.
Move back inside to Rutherford as you're keeping an eye out. It's the complications for both Rutherford and Raya that you almost run right into each other without noticing. Like, you're so focused on what you're doing that neither of you notice each other until you almost smash into each other.
Ah, Tish!
This time I hope I found a bag of hot fries. And immediately I'm like, and Cheerfeed, I hold the hot fries. I'm like, I found hot fries! What happened with you? What are you doing here? I mean, what are you doing in the back? I thought you guys went in earlier. How did you get here?
The front was broken. You were missing. We decided to go around the back.
Oh, that makes sense. I went through a window.
No, we came around the back here. The group. I smell blood.
Why are you here?
We're doing a patrol, remember, Tish?
Oh. Why? Okay. So did anyone else find anything cool like hot fries? You
I don't know. Where did you find hot fries?
here in the store? There's like dead parts still around here?
Yeah, there's like a
Okay,
a box that's labeled hot fries.
Yeah, so and then is there dead body like any parts around in this area?
Oh, not in the back, no.
Good,
You
good.
guys
So
haven't seen
okay, cool. So then she's like, do you want some? I can get you a bag.
No,
In fact, I'm thinking about taking the whole case. You're right. We should probably take the whole case. You look pretty strong. You could take the whole case.
Yes, I could carry the case, but I fear there is something more sinister going on here.
How do you know?
Well, I can smell blood, and I'm fairly sure I just heard exclamation from the next room.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought that was you tripping. Okay,
No,
that's why I
no.
came here. Ah, you scared me. Oh, I guess we should probably head that way, right?
Yes, come, let us regroup.
Can you grab the box, though? Please.
Yes, I'll pick up the box. Fine.
Yes! She's like, you see the backpack shoes? I assume that he's suave enough to realize my backpack looks a little bit heavier than it was.
Probably not.
No?
He can roll a
Okay.
sharp check if you want.
Yeah, I don't mind
mean,
if he rolls a sharp check to notice.
Oh, yeah, I'll roll it. You've been missing. You're suspicious.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
excuse me, I think I'm extremely friendly.
Exactly, suspicious.
Live suspicious is not the same thing.
9.
That's a success, and we'll say that the complication is that we'll get to that in a minute.
There is a lot of hot fry boxes back here. So it took a lot of hot fry stashing in this bag. So there's another box here. That's why I'm hoping you grab this box and we'll go. It's really light. It's a light
Okay,
bag. So
and
you can
all
just
you
grab
could
that.
find was hot fries. You didn't find
You could
anything
live
else?
off hot fries for a long time if you just grab that box and we'll head out.
But nothing else.
Correct.
Maybe we should save some room in your bag for medicines and things.
Or not. Or not.
Well, we have the sick child back at the base.
We do. We do. I thought you helped it. You helped her, right?
Well,
You helped her.
we started to help her, but we needed
What
more
happened?
supplies. That's what we needed, remember?
Oh, I thought we were coming to find people.
Well, yes, but they were looking for supplies. Ah!
We should probably just, let's not even worry about the semantics. Let's just grab the box. Let's go find the others, and then we'll see if we can find the others, and then we'll worry about the other stuff later. I still have room in my bag if we need it. But for now, let's not worry about it.
We'll cut away here. Back to So Bernard and Celeste, as you're looking on the scene, what are you doing?
Trying to establish if it was an explosion that killed them or something else.
Yes, he would also carefully step closer and
Alright.
trying to find out if we know what happened there.
Go ahead and roll me sharp. Well,
If she hears anyone coming from behind, she will turn around and warn them that the view here is not as nice as in the back.
roll me sharp checks, both of you.
I take it.
Celeste, you feel a little woozy, a little lightheaded. You don't feel great. It's a little distracting as you're sort of investigating. But Bernard, with a 10, investigating a mystery, I'll allow you to ask me 2 questions, and I'll give you 2 honest answers.
Ooh, what to ask? Is it an explosion that killed them?
You, as you're kind of investigating the source of the ruin and the wreckage here, you find a large part of upturned earth and floor tiles. And you find what looks like a hole that's been filled in the earth. It doesn't look like an explosion. There's no scorched marks or fire. It doesn't quite look like an earthquake either. What's that?
Would I believe it's something supernatural then, so to speak?
It definitely seems strange. You've never seen anything like this in the military. And I'll let you ask me one more question, too, about the place.
I don't know what to ask.
I can give you a piece of information if you don't want to ask a specific question.
Yeah, please.
As you're exploring the source of this upturned earth, you thought that you'd recognize the 4 bodies. The easiest way to tell is by the heads, where you can find them. You find a 5th, not part of the supply run, but someone you recognize. A man named Tom Hiltz. He was the mayor of the town of Wyandotte. He was with your group 5 days ago, but him and his 2 sons have been missing. They took a car. They've been missing for 5 days.
This is not correct. This is one head too much. This is the mayor's head. He's been gone for 5 days now.
He left on his own.
Well, with his 2 sons, yeah, they took a car like 5 days ago.
This is definitely weird.
Yeah, and there's no explosion as well, so I'm guessing this is something out of this normal world being the cause of it.
This point that Rutherford and Raya push out from the storage in the back, and you see this scene too, a grisly scene of what's left of the grocery store. And Celeste and Bernard off on the other far edge of what's open, where the wreckage is, investigating.
Do I see it immediately? Because I assume Rutherford went in first.
As soon as he moves enough that you can see around him, you would see the streaks of blood covering poultry, what's old, rotting poultry, and then you would see a leg here, a hand there. It's a mess.
Okay, so for initial, when we start opening up, Tish going to be like, "We found some hot fries." We should probably not be yelling.
What on earth? These people look like they've been torn apart.
Yeah, that's my conclusion too. There's no explosions, Mark, so torn apart sounds right. And it's one head too much.
Celeste, are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. I'm just worried on what happened here.
We should probably leave.
Well, we found the missing people and one more that should have already left the town. Something is definitely not right here.
Do we go to the doctors next, or do we head straight to the casino thing?
Do I see?
You go first.
Do I see any like cameras or anything like a normal supermarket would have? Like,
there are, but they're not on. It's it's dark inside the grocery store.
Sweet baby Jesus. She's gonna notice those cameras.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna start building things to be able to climb up to get to one.
No, you're actually able to find a ladder that someone would use to stock up a high shelf to get up there.
Oh, so she pushes the stuff that she had built away, and then she gets the ladder. she puts the ladder down, and while they're talking, and she climbs up there, and you see her reach back a little bit. And she gets a little tiny, like little screwdriver. She's pulling the immediately down, all excitedly, like it's the best thing she's ever gotten. That's gonna be so useful later. She's thinking to herself.
What are you doing, Tish? The cameras don't work anyways.
Oh, you never could have enough things. It could always be useful later.
Oh, you're a hoarder, okay.
It's a terrible habit.
But we should focus on what is here. You can hoard later if you like. If you think around what happened here, this is the right thing to do. G. She will give you a really unhappy about what you're doing.
It's just a couple of wires and a lens
I
and
totally
a-
get that, but a different time would be nice, maybe.
I just got one more screw left. Give me just one more screw. I'll just take one. There's 6. Just let me take one.
She's a force of nature. I don't think you're going to stop her anyways.
A big sigh on, hey, you have to hang out with her in future, not me. And
By the time she's already got it down, she stuffed it in there. She's walking back. She's like, okay.
I would say, honestly, go for the casino. I don't think we find anything interesting at the doctor's at the moment. I would like to go there later, but
Are there any clues here? Can we see anything that points to a location?
Roll me a sharp check.
Oh boy.
can do it.
I believe in you, Scrat.
And
See?
I'll let Raya roll sharp as well. With a 9, investigating a mystery, I'll let you ask me one question, and I'll give you one honest answer. She's really distracted. All about the camera.
Yep.
And the hot fries.
Is
Rutherford,
there any indication of where survivors or aggressors might have gone to after this?
You will find, as you kind of are investigating, doubling back the tracks of Bernard and Celeste, the source of what looks like the upheaval, where the floor has been overturned upward, and it looks like there's a large hole, 10 feet wide, like 10 foot in diameter, and that hole has been filled in with falling earth, almost as though things had exploded upward and then fallen back down to fill in the hole. And just outside of the hole, you find the upper torso and head of a man just at the edge of that location. This is the man that Bernard would have recognized as having been the mayor of the town.
So I'm picking up that people might have gone below ground?
Possibly. Something went down there or came out of there.
I think perhaps the source of this came from below the ground.
I would concur with that conclusion.
Do you think there could be perhaps an entrance to the lab down there?
So what exactly is this lab you're talking about? I'm curious.
They're catching people with new abilities and testing on them.
Ooh, that's not right.
No, it's not.
So do you really think it's going to be in the casino? Because that's where you want to go, so I'm assuming that's where you expect it to be.
Well, assuming on people being kind of scared what is around, and as it's a weird place, this is a weird place. So at least to what we've been through so far, I could at least maybe guess and hope that we find answers there.
Is Wyandotte a big enough town to have like a sewage system?
Oh yeah. It has a sewage system. Not like, don't think like underground man-sized city sewers, that you would walk around in, but it has its own system.
Oh, okay.
Celeste, that feeling that you had before with the ground shifting, that rumble, that's gone now.
So been grumbling all the time, or?
No,
It just lasted for a few seconds and then it was gone.
Okay.
I'm not sure something is beneath us, but I'm not sure I want to find out here.
Well, if we believe what we do believe, I wouldn't want to be overground at all.
So I would say let's go to the casino if everyone is alright with that.
Better plan than any.
Yeah,
I
suppose.
thought that we were going to find people. We found them. Shouldn't we go tell Gramps that we found them and bring back the stuff? Didn't you say we're supposed to bring something back? Aren't you supposed to be? I thought you guys were helping out the child.
Also, here to find out what happened.
There's a big mystery area.
The child will be fine. A few more minutes.
You'll say that until you come back and she's dead. Then you're gonna feel a little bit bad.
Well, aren't you looking at the positive side, aren't you?
You know, I just like to look at the reality side here. These guys are already dead. We're going to an area that could get us dead. And then we should probably go help the one that's about to be dead. And then go back that way.
Well, you're the one wanting to find things. I'm sure in the casino you haven't been before.
Would I have like scouted that area before? I would assume like it seems like an area that would have been like just a little bit.
It's a little outside of town. But
I would have gotten close, but like
haven't gone inside. Yeah, I mean there's the people of Wyandotte, they seem fearful of it. There's whispers of curses and whatnot, things that just sound wildly superstitious.
Sounds like someone trying to hide stuff.
Could be.
Like gold or something.
It was a casino, so conceivably there's a lot of money in the vaults there. Now, what money is worth at this point is questionable.
Can make nice fires out of it. At least from paper money.
So she really doesn't see like anything of interest in that area. So she's like, well, I mean, why don't we split up? Let's two of us go real quick and give them the stuff that's needed. Did you guys even get anything for this child? Or did you guys already help the child? I'm not really sure. Rutherford here didn't really explain too much for me. I thought we were here finding people. He said we're not. We were getting stuff.
This one talks a lot.
I'm an avid talker.
I can tell.
Did you find anything helpful for the people, not for yourself?
I got hot fries. Well, I did get a camera. I just got that. You got me there. I got a camera, but it's that's mine. I could use that later. We could use that on our new adventure. Let's go on an adventure. I would still think that we should keep the hot fries. We can put them outside.
At this point, we need to come up with a plan of where we're going next.
But we could go back with the hot fries to the Cineplex and then go to the casino.
So a second, Bernard like agrees. I was gonna lean up against him and be like, "This guy knows." You don't follow death without bringing something.
I would eye Rutherford and would probably want to go directly. What do you think, brother? We can go first, the others can follow.
Yes, I don't see a problem with that. There's two of us, two of you. We're all capable.
Yeah.
How long would be the detour to go back to the theater and then move on to the casino?
So the casino, you're going to need to drive to.
Okay. Then, yes, let's go back to the theater and grab my car.
Should we stop on the doctor's surgery on the way back? We still don't have any medicines.
There should be a pharmacy somewhere inside here.
I'm sure there is one. Most supermarkets have them, so...
You did see anything in the back?
I found hot fries. Why do you keep asking that?
You were there. I'm just curious. And I would go into the back storage room and look for medicine and things like that and see if there's anything left.
Is there anything left?
Oh no, she took everything that she possibly could.
It's been cleared out. It's been cleared out. So here's what Bernard would know. In this central area of town, you have the grocery store, the other areas that they were to go to, town hall, and then circle around to the local doctor's office. And then that's sort of like the loop they were going to, the supply run was supposed to do before they returned to the theater.
Yeah.
So close by town hall, close by doctor's office, 20 minutes walk, the theater that you came from where your car is parked.
So how far off is the doctor's office then?
5-minute walk.
5 minutes walk. Shall we go by the doctor's office first, maybe, so we can help the girl?
Have I already hit that place before?
Probably not. Not because you just arrived like a day ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
probably
I've
not
been
yet.
like about three days. So I'm like, this is an exciting concept right here. I'm like, Then I wait for a minute. I'm like, how? Let's go. Why not?
Just a quick run. We'll see if we can find some. What is it you need, Celeste?
Let's see what they have, honestly.
Penicillin would be my best shot, I guess.
What? Doesn't she just have a cold?
But we don't know what she got, and some kind of antibiotics would be.
I don't think
So we're leaving to go to the doctor's office. Is that the plan?
Yes.
Yeah, and then back to the theater.
Great. Everybody roll me a weird check.
Uh-oh.
And I have to say, Tish, 1 minute you're saying she's going to die, next minute you're saying she's just got a cold. You're very conflicted. God, that is my best check.
I glance over at Rutherford and I'm like, Dad, you know why I'm confused on what's going on? No one can tell me the straight answer.
Rutherford, a lot of you are leaving. Bernard is leading since he knows the route to the doctor's office and all the other places around town. He's been here the longest. And Rutherford, you don't feel it. Everybody else feels that quaking of the ground, the rumbling, the ground beneath you. And you feel, all of you, a little unsteady on your feet. Maybe it's because Rutherford's heavier, he's stronger, he's moving forward a little bit ahead of you when the ground in front of you, Rutherford, erupts. This is a sound that shakes walls, that cracks stone. And you see emerge in a moment a towering figure, a worm-like shape. This is a long purple body with hard, scaly flesh. And as it comes up over top of you, rising 10 feet, 15 feet into the air, I need you all to make me a cool roll.
Oh no.
Oh, no, indeed.
Remember as well, the two of you guests have a reroll to use should you wish to.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. I'm gonna definitely use that reroll right now. That's gonna be it. This is the time. This is the moment right here.
But once you do that, I got my potion there. How much transforms with me of my gear?
Thank you,
We'll say your
God.
gear transforms. We're going to go like the best way possible. Your gear transforms into like whatever shape you want it to, and then transforms back with you.
How big would I be? Would it be human size or proper size?
Could be. Do you want to be human sized?
No, I want to be proper size.
Then you're proper sized when you do
Because
it.
I will guess out of fear, more or less, I would transform into my form.
Excellent.
What is your form?
A peregrine.
A pelican?
No, a peregrine. Peregrine, yeah.
All right. So everyone passes with flying collars except for Straticus, who also is the one who failed his weird check, right? Did I see that correct? Yes, I did. So as this thing explodes up above you and you're raising your eyes to meet this monstrous worm, you've never seen anything like this. I mean, you've seen some strange things in the past 6 weeks, but you've never seen this. It turns its maw down at you and it opens up its mouth. It's like 4 parcels peel apart and a long licking tongue flickers and hangs down from its maw, and that tongue has 2 holes on the end of it. Those holes squeeze together, the muscles of the tongue squeeze together, and a green liquid shoots out down at Rutherford from above. It, with your failure, sprays you. You feel your flesh burning. You feel the fur on your arm burning back and peeling away for 3 harm.
That's a lot of harm.
Will this avoid armor?
This does not avoid armor.
Okay.
Does it get on the box?
No, not yet. The box-
Rutherford drops the box immediately. So that would be 1 harm I take, because I absorb 1 of my armor, and I'm immortal, so...
Okay, so here's how we do combat in our game. I'm going to name the first person to go. It is going to be Celeste with a cool roll of 12. And Celeste, when your turn is done, you choose who to pass initiative off to, and we'll go full round like that and then come back up to the top. Celeste, it's your turn.
Okay. Assault rifle is in my hand, and I will use it on that thing.
All right. Roll me a tough check.
And it's not a werewolf, so I don't get a bonus. I don't need to. It does 3 harm.
Did you roll the tough check? I didn't see it pop up.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
rolled
resounding success.
So you fire upward at its maw as it's open, and immediately those 4 quadrants snap shut. It pulls its tongue back into its mouth. It reels its head back around as you spray it with bullets. It doesn't seem to slow it down, though. It does seem to, for a moment, stop it from attacking again. Where's she standing? How's she moving? Or is she just standing there stoutly and firing upwards?
She would fire and then run up next to her brother. Oh no, first run up next to her brother and then fire.
All right. And who's she pass initiative off to?
I would guess Bernard, because he has weapons as well. I know he's trained.
All right. Bernard, it's your turn.
Well, as I said, I transform into a peregrine falcon there, right? So I fly back a couple of meters, I guess, and then transform back and then shoot. If that's
All right. So are you flying up onto something, or are you on the ground?
Ooh, up to something, I guess, yeah.
All right. Roll me a weird check. Perfect. You fly, so you would all watch this happen. Bernard transforms, he shapeshifts, he shrinks down into a small bird. And this bird, and his equipment goes with him, it changes with him. And this bird flies upwards onto the ledge at the top of the roof of the nearby grocery store. And then he transforms back, gun in hand. Take your shot, but because this ground is quaking as this thing comes up, I'm going to give you -1 to this roll as your negative.
So add that to the value
when
I roll?
Do a tough check.
Yeah.
And then it'll do it automatically. So that's still a 10. That's a success. How much harm does your weapon do?
It's an assault rifle too, so 3 harm as well.
All right. And again, it reels back as you unload more bullets into this thing. It doesn't seem to be bleeding or oozing or doing anything that suggests that you've severely wounded it. As a matter of fact, some of your bullets ricochet off of its hide. So hard are its scales. But that is your turn. Who do you pass initiative off to?
I would say Rutherford.
Rutherford.
Rutherford will dive at the creature and start clawing at it. Trying to rip out its belly.
All right. Go ahead and make your tough check.
Go for the eyes, Bo. Go for the eyes.
An 8.
And how much harm does this do? Are you using your claws, you said?
I am using my claws, which means it's 3 harm.
All right. You're able to you manage to get your claws just inside its hide, but you have to use all of your strength, considerable strength, to even pierce it at all. And it's whipping about with its tail as it comes further and further up. You're actually being lifted off of the ground with it. And it, again, opens its maw back up wide. This time it comes down over top of you, and it grabs the back of your leg with its long licking tongue, and it flings you off of it. You go flying back like 20 feet through the air. You hit the ground, roll twice, and then come to a stop for 2 harm.
Armor?
Armor protects you for 1 of it, yeah.
Awesome. So I just sort of roll and stand back up after a moment, shaking off all of the harm.
I'm in your roll.
All right. And then that means it's now Raya's turn. Raya, what do you do?
Is there
Also,
anywhere?
The hot fries are on the ground. The boxes.
She looks so
Matter of fact,
devastatedly
you watch in slow
upset.
motion. As he goes flying through the air, the box opens, and you can just see in slow motion the hot fries just falling, raining down into the parking lot.
Oh no! Oh God! Yes, one job, just has to hold the box. Ah! Okay, is there anywhere close that I can climb up? Or it looks like Any safe haven of stepwise?
What are you looking to like duck into a building? You could get behind a car. You could try to run off into a side street.
Is there a car?
Yeah, there's cars
Okay.
nearby, the parking lot.
Cool. I'm gonna try to hotwire a car.
Fantastic. Roll me a cool check.
Cool check. Cool check.
Say with an 11, you're not only able to quickly jimmy through the window and pop open the door of a car, but you are able to very quickly get in and start to hotwire it. You think you just need another couple of seconds and you'll have that car going. But that will be next turn. Back up to Celeste at the top.
She would fire but back up because brother is now somewhere in the other direction. So trying to get away from that thing. But
Alright.
still firing. So another tough.
So she is backing up and firing, and this thing now, after having thrown Rutherford off of it, this giant worm, it turns its, not eyes, but its maw towards you, and again, its mouth opens up into 4 quadrants, like peeling away. This time, it comes down directly over top, and it travels fast. It dives through the air, and it slams over top of Celeste. Celeste, you feel its tongue wrap around you, pull you up into its maw. You still got the gun in your hand, but you feel yourself sliding upward and downward into something that burns. It goes dark around you. And Celeste, you are swallowed for this round 2 harm.
Okay, so 1.
Ouch.
Who does Celeste turn her initiative?
Brother.
Rutherford, you just, as you're standing up, you watch this thing dive down and it just swallows your sister up in one gulp. It smashes through the earth, creating another large hole. I need everybody to make me a tough check. Raya, I'll give you +2 on this.
Me too.
Inside the car.
Don? Tough check.
What?
As well?
No, you're Celeste, you're fine. I mean, fine's relative. All right. So Raya and Rutherford, you're able to avoid getting knocked down. But Bernard, you're actually on top of this roof where you've landed and you're firing. And as it slams in the ground again, it quakes and a corner of the building that you're standing on the edge of begins to crumble and you fall forward and you drop 12 feet to the ground below.
Ouch.
Roll me a weird check. Let's see if you can polymorph and shapeshift again
Let's
before
do
you get
this. I will reroll that.
You want to use your reroll?
Yeah.
It's good.
Ah.
Oh no. So here's what we'll say, that you do polymorph just before you hit the ground and you pull up in bird form and start to fly around, but a piece of falling debris hits your wing and pins you in your bird form to the ground. You don't take any harm, but you're trapped for a moment. And we'll get to your turn in a second. Rutherford, it's your turn.
Well, I guess I will just run back at it and start attacking it. I mean, hang on a minute. So Tish has gone to start the car. Bernard has disappeared. And Celeste is still firing?
Celeste got swallowed by the thing, and then it crashed through the ground and came back up.
I'm diving.
She was running towards you. She was running towards you and firing back at it, and it came down over top of her and engulfed her.
I would like to try and save my sister. I'm going to dive into the worm's maw.
Obviously.
I'd like to start trying to tear its tongue out.
Its maw is closed. How do you get it to open its maw again?
Use the hot fries.
And we broke scat.
I will 100% do that. I'm going to grab whatever food is closest around and start throwing it at the worm.
There's a box of half of the hot fries are still in the box.
Yeah, I'll
You
start
know,
opening them and throwing them at the worm. Yeah.
Roll me a one weird. Let's call this weird. Roll me a
Yeah.
weird
I
check.
would say so. It ain't normal.
It works magnificently well. Rutherford, you fling the one of the bags of hot fries up, and it almost like a dog snatching a frisbee. It opens its maw up, and the comes down over top and devours the hot fries. It's like 5 feet above you. You could try to jump in if you want.
Yes, I would like to jump in.
Roll me a tough check.
Let's see you throw me from across the room when I am inside you. Ha!
And what's he doing is he's diving into the maw here.
Clawing at the tongue to try and climb in.
And how much damage does he do?
Well, that'd be his claws, I guess. So 3.
Yeah. 3. Great, perfect. Who does he give his initiative over to?
Bernard, I guess, down the hole.
So you feel yourself being pulled, Rutherford, into its maw, and you're clawing its tongue and the inside of its whatever this appendage is as you're going down, and then you hit something solid. It's Celeste. You feel your sister there, and you feel something burning you too. It's more of that acid. It's just dripping off of the inside of this creature's guts. But we're going to cut away there to Bernard, who's still in bird form, one wing trapped behind a rock, beneath a rock.
I will turn back, I guess. Do I need to roll for that?
Yeah, roll me a weird check.
Yeah. Because I guess I will transform to be unpinched, but that was
Oh.
You're able to transform, but doing so with this rock on you actually injures you. You take 2 harm. It feels like your left shoulder, as you come back, shaped back into human form, is like dislocated. It's popped out of socket.
That's not what I wanted. Can I somehow pop it back?
You want to try to pop it back?
Yeah, like
first aid,
lethal weapon kind of style.
Absolutely. Do you have a first aid skill or anything like that?
Yes, I do.
All right. What is it? A cool? Is it a sharp?
It's a cool.
Yeah, make me a cool check. Lethal weapon style, right into the back of the grocery store that you've fallen in front of. You pop it back into place. It hurts, but it doesn't cause harm.
Yeah.
But just like in every action movie ever, you do let out a very, very manly. And what does he do after that?
Do I have time for? If I can, I will shoot my rifle again, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll let you shoot.
Once at least.
I will give you -2 for this.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just a wild shot. As a matter of fact, I need Raya, give me a sharp check.
Like a knife.
We'll say that's enough. Just in time, you hear the gunfire, and you can see that he's pulling the trigger wildly as he's spinning around. It's a little off aim because he's still kind of dazed from shape shifting, and the line of bullets comes straight towards the top of the car. You are able, Raya, to duck down just in time as the glass to your side, passenger side, and driver's side shatter around you. But now it's your turn.
Out of like pure rage, and she's not even paying attention to like her act or anything, she immediately says, "Could you please do not do that towards my freaking vehicle? You do that shit again, I swear to God, I'll come over there and rip your heart out myself." So then so I assume I got my vehicle going, right?
Yeah, you just got it started right before the glass got blown out by the shower of bullets.
You hear like a loud roaring sound. We still haven't gotten the 2 out of the stomach yet, so she thinks about it for a minute. You can tell it's really like dwindling. Yeah, probably should pay a little more attention here. So she has two ideas. She's like, I could throw this car right into this thing, but it's possible I could run over them at the same time. Don't know where they are in the stomach. Don't also know where they are right now in the body to shoot. She's at a lot. I'm gonna give a little bit of a chance here. She puts her bag down. She's gonna dig in her gigantic bag, and pull out. Is anyone even looking at me? He's stuck in the thing, and everyone else is in the stomach, right?
I think Bernard probably sees you now because he shot out the windows with his errant shot. So he probably sees you pop up afterwards and yell at him.
She's still in rage anyway, so it's fine. So she pulls out. Actually, it's an assault rifle from her bag, and she turns around and she pops it towards the creature, and she's gonna try to fire a couple shots real quick, or a shot, of
Awesome.
course.
Yeah, give me a tough check.
Here we go. Yeah.
So you fire twice, and you hit it several times, but again, a couple of shots seem to ricochet off of its hard chitness scale, and it turns its attention now towards you. And again, flaps peel open this way, flaps peel open that way. That tongue begins to flicker out of its mouth. The muscles of the tongue. As you begin to speed off, the muscles of the tongue squeeze tightly together, and a blast of that green acidic spray shoot like an arc out of it. It hits the top of the car, and it burns through the roof. You won't take any damage, but as it's burning through and you're trying to pull away,
Tokyo Drift.
Negative consequence is as you Tokyo Drift, the car flips.
Dang it! But I'm a good driver. It's my skill.
Roll me a cool check.
Okay, here we go. I get what's my drive skill here?
Right?
Yeah, I get a plus on while I'm driving. Here we go. This is my opportunity to Tokyo this out, man.
Your time to shine.
Yes. Here we go. Yeah.
Plus you get +2, you said, so that's a 13. So the car flips once, twice, and then it lands, and then you Tokyo drift.
And I'm like, I act like that was all purpose. I'm like, been here, done that. It's like a rodeo and a freaking carnival. Let's go.
And you won't take any harm. Where is she driving?
She's well, now she's got the baddie's attention, right?
Yeah.
So she's gonna try to trick it into slamming itself into something.
Okay, so we'll hold that off until next turn. We're back up to Celeste's turn. Celeste, at the top of your turn. Oh, and I will say, did the two of you have harm at the beginning of this session from last week? I didn't think so. You do take 2 harm as the acid continues to burn. This is for Celeste and Rutherford. I'm going to let you guys have a joint turn right now. You have met each other inside this thing's stomach. What are you doing now?
I will use one of my new moves. I will go berserk.
I didn't know you-
Put the in chat, or do you want to look on the sheet? So basically,
No, I got you. Yeah, berserk.
yeah. So she's raging, basically, and she's pulling out her knife because I guess rifle is not the best idea because it's somewhere here, and stabbing it.
All right. And I'm looking for berserk right now. What's that let you do?
No matter how much harm I take, I can always keep on going until the current fight is over. During a fight, the keeper, so you may not use harm moves on me, and I cannot die. When the fight ends, all harm takes effect as normal. So
Excellent. All right. So what are you doing with the knife?
I am rage stabbing just right in front of me and trying to see if either the thing dies or is so annoyed that it wants to get rid of us again.
You're just stabbing over and over and over again. Make me a tough check. And what's Rutherford doing? Atticus, what's Rutherford doing? Is your sister stabbing away?
Rutherford will be laying about with his claws. Maybe not in exactly the same place as C, unless that is creating a weak spot. But they would like to look around and see if there are anything that looks weak. You know.
I'll let you make me a sharp check.
Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Because you're trying to be smart.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You get the sense that maybe if you both are attacking the same spot, you might, be able to do more damage since it is fairly well armored. But on the inside, though, there's no chitin. It's softer. This organic material, whatever this fleshy material is that you guys are kind of sticking to down here, it's not as hard as its outer shell.
I'd like to start digging it like a dog.
All right, roll me
just
a tough
flicking
check.
it behind me.
All right. So you both got 8. How much damage does that do altogether?
I have 3.
I have 2.
So 5 is just enough to trigger its gag reflex. So as you're digging into it and you're like tearing at it, you feel a wave of that burning liquid push up, and then its tongue undulates. You can feel it pushing you forward, and it spits you up out of the front of its mouth. Your negative consequence being that it had raised up as it did so. So as it spits you out towards the ground, you both hit the ground very hard. You will take 2 harm, ignores armor with the force.
Can I try and stay inside? Is that an option?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me a tough check. And also, Rutherford, just like with Celeste, you do take, I don't know if you marked it, you do take 2 acid harm that does not ignore, but I think you canceled it out, right?
Yeah.
I can't get out. The thing is, Rutherford is on top of me, so if he doesn't want to get out, I'm
You're
probably
not getting out
also not
either?
getting out either.
Rutherford, roll me a cool check.
Alright, cool check. Sorry, that was a tough check. I have no cool. I have no chill. I have no chill.
So is Celeste's intention to push outward as it's spitting her out, or is she going to try to stay in the front of its maw?
She wants to get out.
right,
Vicky
so-
would like the idea to stay in. It might be good for hurting it.
Celeste, roll me a tough check and a cool check, and we'll determine what happens here.
Okay, tough. That's good.
All right.
Cool. That's better.
You've got lots of chill.
Rutherford, this time Celeste gets what she wants, and since she's beneath you, she actually pushes you out with her.
Okay.
So you will hit the ground and roll twice. You'll take that 2 damage, ignores armor. How's Celeste and Rutherford looking in terms of harm?
The question is, do I take the harm with Berserk or not? I'm not sure how I'm reading the text.
Well, mark it just, what are you without it, and then what are you with it, just in case?
I'm at 2 without it and at 4 and unstable with it.
With it, yeah. So you don't take it yet, but you will take it once your rage ends. How's Rutherford looking? Is he at he's taken 3 harm total, right?
2, I think. I've just marked 1 extra. So he's okay.
All right, he's doing all right. So
he's got used to this
your turn.
constant beatings.
Worse. Both have been much worse.
So this thing spits the 2 of them out, and you 2 hit the ground, roll. It hurts, but you're still up, able to fight. This thing is not turning away just yet. Who do you pass your initiative off to? You've got Bernard, who has the gun, and then Tish/Raya, who is revving up her car.
Your pick spread.
I mean, I guess Tish, Bernard, you're injured, right? But I don't know, so it doesn't matter. Tish was my first answer.
All right.
We're gonna try to pull this off to get him to be dumb, like this big old worm thing to be dumb enough to run into something to smash itself at its own damage rate.
So what are you trying to smash it into? Give me an idea.
So we got a couple of buildings here that looks like it's pretty good enough.
Got the half of the grocery store that's still up. Not too far on the other side of the street is the little area that looks like town hall. you could go there, but closest would be the grocery store itself.
Yeah, so and the grocery stores normally have a pretty. I'm gonna assume that that Tish got like the worst type of car that she's like wanted in this area. So it's probably like a little tiny 4-door car, ugly looking thing, and she's like, I could probably get through those grocery store doors with that. So she's gonna try to get in there real quick and swerve. So then that thing is gonna go straight through and go straight to the back of the grocery store, and probably get in trouble for that later.
That's where the supplies are.
Not anymore, really.
Roll me your drive cool check.
Yeah, here we
Think of
go.
the book for this.
And now roll me a sharp check.
Oh no, is there something else in here?
Nobody else.
Was there something else in here?
No,
just
the
ran over.
negative side effect, you do succeed in getting its attention and pulling it away, but the negative side effect is that before it pulls its attention towards the car and you, it again opens up its maw and fires another blast of spraying acid, this time at Bernard. And Bernard, you will take 2 damage, 2 harm.
Yeah, I want 4 unstable.
That knocks you unstable. So you're not down, but you will have -1 to tough checks moving forward until you're stabilized.
All right.
Then the worm begins to, again, it pulls back down into the earth, and you think maybe for a second it's gone as Raya is speeding towards the grocery store, and then explodes again from the ground, coming towards her in the car, and she swerves and turns the car just in time. It smashes through the back door, through the wall, and you can see the wall around it collapse onto it. It's writhing. Its tail is squirming out the back of the grocery store. For a moment, it's stuck. Bernard, it's your turn.
The move medic, can I use it on myself?
Absolutely.
Then I would do so. That's a cool check. On a 7, heal 2 harm or stabilize the injury. I will heal 2 harm then.
Okay. So you still have your minus forward for now, but what you are able to do is to basically, you've got like a piece of your clothing has a glob of acid that it continues to burn. And so you strip off your shirt and throw it aside. And by doing so, you are able to keep from the burn. You're basically able to avoid some of the damage of the burn.
Yeah.
So now
shoot.
Okay. Are you, so you're real close to this thing, and as you fire, it's again like most of your rounds are ricocheting, maybe a couple of them stick, but it reacts with a flick of its tail and it slams into you and knocks you back for 2 harm. 2 harm. Your negative side effect of the 9 or the 8.
And I'm unstable again.
That brings us to Celeste and Rutherford. And right now, this thing looks like it's stuck in the collapsed wall of the grocery store. And Celeste, we'll say you go first.
You will also hear the hickus is cheer once this happens. The hickus cheer. She swirls out. She's like, "Yeah, I did it. That's right."
She would go for this thing should not live here where there are people living around, so she would scramble up again with the rifle and running closer because she's stupid and shoot at it.
All right, take your tough check.
Nope.
You are rushing towards this thing, and just as you're about to get to it with a gun, it pulls back out of the building. The wall collapses around it, and it turns towards you. You feel the front of its maw smash into your arm. You go off to the side for 2 arm, and as it does, it releases another burst of like vomiting acid. This time not aimed at anybody, it's just like a glob. And what comes up is human remains, a skeleton, most of the flesh burnt away. Its fingers closed tightly in a skeletal fist. That's Celeste's turn. It's free again.
That ain't right. That ain't right at all.
Celeste, who do you toss it off to?
Rutherford.
Rutherford. So Celeste has run towards this thing as it was stuck in the wall of the grocery store, but just before she got to it, it freed itself and slammed into her, knocked her to the side. She doesn't take the harm because she's berserking, but that's not good.
No, it is not, but there's also not very much I can do about it. I will run and try and distract the beast with my claws.
So are you trying to get its attention on you, or are you just trying to hurt it?
I think I will do a bit of column A and column B. What I'll do is I'll attack its tail, the thing that's thrashing around. I'll try and get hold of that and start ripping that apart, and hopefully it'll try and look back around on itself.
Roll me a cool check and a tough check.
I have no chill, but I'm plenty tough. Oh, and that means I've gained another level as well.
So you throw yourself onto its tail. With a tough check, you're able to hold on and dig into it again. You have to really work to get through its hide, but it doesn't toss you off, even as it tries to buck you, even as it whips around. However, you don't really pull its attention away.
Okay. So my upgrade is I get another natural attack, so I'll add another +1 to my base, to my claws.
Oh, awesome. So now it does 4 harm?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So I'll mark that now, since you actually leveled up technically before you rolled the tough check.
Thank you.
Cool?
Cool. Well, no, I'm not cool. Rutherford's not cool. He can't do cool. But yes, cool.
Who do you toss your initiative off to?
Bernard.
Bernard. I will try to move away from the creature then. How are the ones looking? Bird-wise, so to speak.
So Raya, Tish is looking fine. Rutherford is looking pretty good. He's got some singed hair, some burnt. You don't know Rutherford. Yeah. He looks like this all the time, but he looks pretty good for a wolf.
Yeah.
You find it a little strange that Tish looks like stupidly excited about this whole concept.
Celeste, however, despite the fact that she seems entirely engaged and enraged in fighting, she's taken a beating. I mean, she looks bad. She's got parts of her skin missing. Parts of her white hair have fallen off or peeled away. She's got a bald patch here on the side.
Does she seem calm enough to be able to heal her?
I don't know. Does she? Would she allow him to do some emergency first aid on her?
No, because in her mind, all is fine. She's
all is fine. Yeah, exactly.
Focused.
I will try to do medic on myself again then.
Okay.
Oh no! Someone fire a trank at her. Someone.
You're able to again. You've popped your shoulder out twice now, short succession. Maybe this is an injury that you got when you were in the military frequently. You had shoulder issues, and so dislocated shoulder is actually a pretty common thing for you. But again, you have to pop it back in. You're able to do so.
Yeah, and then I will back up, and whilst I'm backing up, I will fire at the verb.
Take your shot.
Nah.
This time, its attention turns towards you, even with Rutherford on its tail. As you open fire, again, it peels away, and like before, it smashes into the ground, and you feel yourself, the tongue wrapping around you, pulling you up into it, swallowing you. The acid of the inside of this creature's body is burning you, and you are engulfed into it. And as it swallows him up, Rutherford, it begins to beat its maw and whatever the sharp edges of its opened mouth is against the ground, and you can feel it digging into the ground and pulling up earth and pushing downward. That's the Bernard. That'll be 2 more harm. And I'm sorry for all those rolls. You toss off to the next turn is Raya.
Y'all think this is some kind of ride or what? Jumping in this creature like you some kind of Ferris wheel or something. Now another one's being eaten. Guess we're gonna. How distance is it? Was there a gas station near here? There's a supermarket.
Couple blocks away, there's a gas station. Yeah.
A couple miles, or a couple blocks.
Yeah.
Do you think? How fast do you think I could get to it?
You had to drive around the front of the building. Wouldn't take you long.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to grab its attention and take off again. This time, I'm praying for a different.
Just drive it already.
Roll me a sharp check and a cool check.
Here we go. There's a goal. Come on. There.
You do. You speed off, and you do so as you turn the wheel. You clip it just barely, but it gets its attention, and it starts going off and following you. It pulls up out of the ground. It's writhing along the ground, worming along the ground. It's got Rutherford is on its tail, and you're quickly turning the corner. It's going to take you another turn to get to the gas station. Celeste, what do you do as you see this?
Thinking about new haircuts. Sorry. She would be stupid enough. She's still in fight mode, and she's never done that, so she feels good. And shooting again at that thing.
Is she gonna chase it, or is she gonna stay where she is?
How far away is it?
It's not far away. But it's moving away. It's worming along the ground, following Raya's car, which has just turned the corner around the corner of the grocery store.
She would run after it.
Okay, roll me a tough check. See if through her injury she can catch it, and she does. Are you jumping on it?
No.
Or are you just following?
Just be following near enough to shoot at it, not.
All right. So I'll let you roll another tough check to take a shot at it then.
This game hates me, but another level up, 2 level up in one game.
That's true. The negative consequence is that it throws Rutherford off of its tail. It bucks him finally, and right before you fire, you have to pull away your gun because you see your brother flying through the air at you. He slams into you, doesn't do any harm, but knocks you to the ground.
Do you say anything when your sister catches you?
How does it look? Do you catch Rutherford, or are we a mess on the floor?
I don't know. Do you roll me a tough check if you want to try to catch him and not?
I would try, probably. Let's see.
However you want.
I would not really catch him because that's impossible, but rather stop him, giving him a hold that he's standing on his feet, leaning against me.
All right, so you're able to catch him and kind of ease him down so that you guys don't smash into the ground. It's the end of your turn, Celeste. Who do you give it to?
I would say to. Now I'm saying Trish, even reading Rhea. So let's see where the car goes.
It's convincing. All right, so she's speeding around the corner of the grocery store. This thing is catching up very quickly, though. It moves with a speed that belies its size just with the sheer force of its strength and muscles. I need you to go ahead and make another drive check.
I'm getting excited. I'm getting to be able to drive faster than I got on the speedway. Here we go. It's +2 for my drive, right?
Yeah, that's right. +2 makes it a 10 instead of an 8, which is much better. You are able to stay ahead of this thing as it's crashing into cars, knocking them out of the way, whereas you're able to kind of maneuver a little more smoothly between Rubble and Detrius. You're able to get to the gas station this turn. It's still coming up behind you. It's not far. What's her plan once she gets there?
My plan is to get it to run into the gas tanks and stuff, and I'm gonna light this baby on fire. We're gonna have some barbecue. We're gonna do it big.
How do you intend to start the fire?
With a lighter.
All right. So are you gonna is the idea to throw it out your broken window?
Yeah.
That'll be next turn. We'll cut away. Who does she toss her turn to now?
I mean, who hasn't had a turn? I mean, whoever.
Bernard and Rutherford.
Bernard. Okay, so you just got tossed off and caught, right?
Rutherford
so I'm gonna
did.
go. Yeah, so we're gonna go Bernard because he's been healing. So.
Well,
Bernard is inside the creature currently. It's swallowed.
Oh, yeah. You need to get out of there before I barbecue
Bernard,
you. We have barbecue chicken along with the worm.
Bernard, you do take 2 harm at the start of this turn.
Ouch.
Inside this creature as its acid continues to eat its way through the flesh. Bernard, you've taken a beating. I mean, you've really fought hard. How's he look?
I'm one off dying, so.
He's got -1 to his forwards for this turn because of his injury. What is Bernard doing here?
I'm thinking of shotgun or big knife. Shotgun might do me more harm, so I'm gonna shoot my shotgun. It might
shove it into his fleshy part and pull the trigger and hope for the best.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Roll your tough check.
A tough check.
You do fire the shotgun into the fleshy part of him. We'll save the negative consequence for a minute here.
I do level up.
What? You do have what?
I level up.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm too tired to show what to speak though.
How much damage does your shotgun do?
It does 3.
Perfect. You hear this creature make a sound. You haven't really heard it make any kind of vocalization. It doesn't have vocal cords that you're aware of, but it's like a wheeze. It kind of rustles through this long tunnel of the inside of this body. And you hear it whisper past you. Rutherford, it's your turn. You're muted.
Rutherford will take stock of C as she has caught him, and Celeste, you look terrible.
I'm fine. Go.
No, you're not. And he's going to try and pick her up and take her away from the worm.
She will struggle. She will fight you.
Roll me opposing tough checks. Let's see how this goes. Now, I will say
that we can't let Bernard in there. We need to help him. I don't want to roll a pose check. I can't beat that.
Try.
I'm close.
Oh!
I mean, a 13 is the same result as a 14. In PBTA, a 13 or 14 is a critical success. You both got a critical success. You are in a standstill, and I will let I will let you together make the decision of who wins. Is Rutherford pulling her away from the worm, which is several blocks away, towards the gas station? Or is Celeste breaking free and running off?
If it's already several blocks away, just like, even if I can't pick you up and move you, just stopping you and getting you to consider your health would be fine. He's trying to snap you out of the rage.
I think he would be, in a sense, definitely stronger. So if he wants to stop me, he will be able to stop me. So
Maybe just
All right.
like hands on the shoulders, like, no, Celeste, you have to snap out of it. Come on, look at yourself. You are badly injured.
I've been worse, and Bernard needs help.
I understand that, but look at yourself. You are bleeding heavily.
She will take a moment to take a deep breath and probably not look, just see how she feels.
Feels. So her berserk ends then, correct? And then she takes immediately 4 harm. So what's that put her up to?
Same as Bernard is now. So she's been there, but she doesn't want to go down more.
Hmm.
Look, you see,
So
Bernard
you
may
feel
need
it
help.
once.
Bernard may need help, but you need to look after yourself. Otherwise, how are you going to help him?
I felt fine. What do we do now?
You heal up. I'm still okay. Join us when you are looking less like you're about to die.
Okay, she will probably lean on her rifle now.
And Rutherford would start seeing now that Celeste is caring for herself, start heading back towards the worm.
So he runs off with his preternatural speed. He's much faster than a regular person. Who do you pass your turn off to? Or I guess it's Celeste's turn, but is Celeste just gonna is she gonna use like first aid on herself? What's she gonna do?
She would do. I'm scared to roll first aid on myself because
You'll
of.
have to.
Well, no, I will do it. I will do it. I have luck. If it goes totally bad,
That's
I
true.
can still do luck.
That's true.
So let's do some cool and at least try if I can get anything back. That is good. Thank goodness. So on a 10, I get 1 back and I'm stabilized.
Excellent. So as you kind of collect yourself and are taking care of yourself, you can see in the distance what's happening, even though it's pretty far away from you because the worm's so big, and you can hear the squeal of the wheels of the car. Who do you pass your turn off to?
I'm scared to give it to Bernard. I'm really
Same.
scared. I will give
Same
it to
though.
Oh, but he should get out of there before.
I'm gonna die anyways.
But honestly, if it's your turn, you will get damage that you can't deal with. I will give it to Tish, just see what happens.
Oh, and I will say this: Bernard can reduce harm to 0 by spending a luck.
Ooh.
He can't reduce his harm to 0. He can, if he
But
takes
for-
harm, he can reduce it to 0 for
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
action.
so
I have a plan. I have a plan.
I would still give it to Tish. So
Excellent.
oh, yeah.
Ish.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, that's the plan.
Yeah. Clearly.
Okay.
I will not
So-
look at the conclusion.
So here we go. This is the plan. We're gonna try to get this thing. It's obviously digging through the ground and stuff like that. We're gonna try to get it to run into the ass, and we're gonna light that. Let's have some barbecue.
So I need 3 checks from you to pull this plan off. I need a sharp check. Then I need a regular cool check. And then I need a drive cool check.
Come on,
This
so
is the
this
time to do it, people.
right?
You do have 2 luck if you want to use your luck on any of these rolls.
You use a luck, you have a success.
It makes it a 12 instead of whatever else you roll.
Okay,
So do you
well,
want
I
to
guess
use
I will.
luck on your sharp?
I will. Yeah, I will. Oh, well, I rolled a sharp already at 8, so I passed that, right?
8 is a success with a consequence.
Oh, okay. Then I will use one of my lucks on my sharp, so I don't have to worry about
Okay.
the. And
So
then
go ahead and roll me a regular cool check.
right there.
You have 1 luck left. Are you going to use it on this or no?
Yeah, hell yeah. We gotta go big, go home.
You have
And here in Texas, we gonna do this right.
And then roll me your drive cool check.
You can do this.
Oh, here we go. And that's okay. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's +2, right? On my drive.
It's
Man,
plus
I
two,
look-
that's a 12.
Wait.
I look like a badass. I'm hoping. Here we go. Let's go.
All right, Bernard. Before we resolve what happens here, I need you to have your turn as well. Bernard, you will take 2 acid harm.
I
at the top
will
of the
spend a
turn
luck then, so I don't do that.
to avoid. All right. And what's he doing here?
I'm still gonna try to shotgun a hole throw.
All right.
I guess.
Go ahead and make that tough check. Oh, that's a sharp. Make a tough check for me.
It's wrong. Either way.
You shoot another blast into it, and you feel it pushing you up out of its mouth, its tongue undulating. You feel yourself moving forward with a slobbering globe of acid. You hit the ground and roll twice. You will take 1 harm from the acid
Yeah.
glob. It
So
spits you out.
what happens when my harm boxes are all ticked?
Would that put you at 7?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's death.
that's that. Then I will spend a luck.
So you hit the ground, you roll twice, you're able to get up to your feet.
Can I transform
This thing,
and fly away?
What?
Can I transform
What?
and fly away?
yeah, you oh yeah, absolutely. So here's what we'll say happens. You can see that it's spraying acid from a wound of 2 blasts of its shotgun through its stomach. You actually managed to punch through its hide, and acid is spilling out of its stomach, but it's moving past you already. You're in front of the gas station, and you see Tish's car swerve around as this thing is smashing in through the gas tanks. She tosses the lighter out through the shattered glass window of the driver's side towards the center, and then speeds off in the opposite direction. You know what's going to happen a moment before it happens. As battered and broken as you are, I do need you to make me a weird check as you try to polymorph and fly out of there.
Weird chick. Come on, yay.
Someone donates to give 200 bits to give HP to Bernard. Is that okay? What was the pool that we were filling with the £1 donation? I can't remember.
Oh, I think that's +1s to rolls.
Okay, so you get +2 then. We've got +2 for Bernard.
So that makes it a critical success then with a 12. So cool. So here's what happens. You sense it happening ahead of time. You feel your left shoulder is again dislocated. And you, with your gun, you're able to hit yourself, snap it back into place, transform into a bird, and you fly away. You can feel the heat of the explosion. All of you feel the explosion of the gas station rocking you. Rutherford, you're running down the street towards the gas station, and the force of the blast throws you backwards. It stops you in your track before you can get too close. Bernard, you are flying away from it even as this fireball is right on the edge of your tail feathers. Rhea, you are speeding away in the opposite direction. As you turn away, Rhea, are you driving back towards the others, or are you driving off somewhere else?
Well, I'm gonna come back, but I'm gonna wait till that fire dissipates first. I felt my crazy meter is right up there right now, and it's hitting pop, 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 pop. So she's like, that adrenaline. She's gonna have to circle around for a minute, and she's like screaming the whole time, Yeah, go
so-
big in Texas. That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Bernard, with a critical success, you don't take any harm from the fireball. You actually fly. It's like the Millennium Falcon, but you're a bird. You fly. The fireball almost reaches around you, and then you fly out of it back towards the others. Is that where you're heading?
I would assume so, yeah.
Let's cut back now to Celeste. Celeste, as you're waiting there, you see the explosion in the distance. You can see that Rutherford didn't make it to the gas station. You're not sure what happened to the car, to Bernard, but roll me a sharp check.
No.
Okay.
You, as you're kind of leaning on your gun, turn your gaze down and you see the skeleton that it had spit up before, just like a foot away from you. It's still gripping tightly.
It holds something, I would guess.
Do you want to open up its hand and see?
I am no use trying to run after them because I am sure I'm not running. I can walk carefully, but that will take time. And as long as I'm sure Rutherford is not in the explosion, she wouldn't be like panicked. She would still like to go in the direction afterwards, but she would go for it just to be curious.
You open up the skeletal figure's hands. You can't see anything of their clothes or whatever else might have existed. The acid has eaten through everything. But as you peel back the bony fingers, it's a locket. It's a necklace. Then you know it anywhere. It's a gift that you gave to Cassie years ago. To your sister.
She will look around if she can see or sense Dear Jean Jacket guy, because she is totally blaming everything that happens on him at the moment.
Roll me a weird check. Does she want to see him?
Yeah, she would, because she wants answers why he's doing that.
He's sitting on the edge of a car in the parking lot right next to you. His blue jean legs crossed over one another, leaning back against the hood of it. He's got long, dark, curly hair, his denim jacket, and that big smile.
I will walk towards him. Not storming, not raging, just calmly walking towards him, just holding out the locket. You are enjoying this, aren't you?
He kicks up and around and scoots to the edge of the car, drums the hood of the car but with his two hands between his legs, and smiles towards you. I was just hoping we could talk. You've been non-communicative.
As you might have noticed, I don't really like you. And I sure don't trust you.
I can appreciate that, but we're all here together. And I know some things that you don't know. It's about time that you came over to my side. The good side.
You are not on the good side.
Your sister disagrees.
I doubt that.
Come to Las Vegas. You can ask her yourself.
You're lying. Where are Mel and Desiree?
In transit.
By now she would hold the locket, but really, like, trying to stay calm, really fighting. Means what? They are dead?
No, it means they are neither here nor there. Where they will be is New Orleans. But you don't want to go there. You want to come to Las Vegas.
I don't want to go to Las Vegas.
Come to Las Vegas, Celeste. Come to Las Vegas, Celeste.
Can
Roll me
she
a
turn?
cool check.
She would try to turn around and go away, or just move into the direction of the, like, this is over.
Roll me a cool check.
Let's see.
You turn away and you move in the opposite direction, dismissing him, but you can hear his voice follow you. Come to Las Vegas, Celeste. Come to Las Vegas, Celeste. And then the last voice you hear, come to Las Vegas, Celeste.
She will stop
Help me.
immediately when she hears her voice. But she will not turn around. She'll just stand there, holding the locket, or probably now looking again at the locket.
Her locket, or one that looks identical to it. As you're looking down at it, a fly buzzes around your ear and then lands on your hand that's holding the locket, slowly crawls over it.
She will take a deep breath and keeps on walking. She's not looking behind her.
You don't hear anything else. Move back to Rutherford and Bernard now. The fire's spreading.
The town is on fire. We should get back and warn the people at the theater.
Yes, indeed.
And you two should patch each other up or something.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe we should stop at the doctor's office after all, and perhaps before the fire catches it.
That would be a good plan, I think.
Okay.
And try to patch me up before we go.
Yes, although you know a failure is bad, right?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, yes.
Whew.
So heal me too and stabilize.
Stabilized. So you're able to kind of get your wits about you. You're very badly wounded, hurting, but you're on your feet. Where's Raya? As they're moving away from the fire.
By the time I'll be starting to head back, but at the same time, I'm gonna need probably to make me roll. But I realize it starts fading into me that I haven't put my stuff away, so I'm like trying to put that stuff away while I'm driving. I'm like, I gotta put this gun back in here where it belongs. Can't be having them getting in this car and them seeing stuff. And I'm pulling the string a little bit. I'm like, oh god, there's a box of slides down here, and I'm like, let me get it while I'm driving.
That's a lot of hiding. Roll me a sharp check. Let's see if she's kept her cover so far.
Oh god, here we go. Yeah, please.
The consequence is that Bernard is the only one who spots some of her hidden stash as she comes around for the others. Are you picking them up to drive them away back to the town?
Well, I'm picking up when it rolls down the window. I roll down the window. I'm like, first, I'm about to speak normal, and I immediately tell myself, "Whoa, wait a minute, backtrack." So the fire's going. I don't know how it happened, but we should probably put that out. Most gas stations have an emergency area for situations just like this. It's something that everyone should know. I'm sure you know it, so we should probably go do that.
So is she gonna put the fire out?
And she's thinking to herself at the same time, she's like, dinner is served.
Does everybody help her put the fire out, or are the rest of you trying to flee?
I would like to help her put the fire out.
out.
Perhaps with my preternatural speed and my resistance to fire, I could, make this reasonably easy.
I would probably still be walking towards them because I'm walking very slowly. I'm in thoughts. I'm just heading in the direction, but not really speeding up.
So I will say, Raya, with their help, I'm going to give you +2 to your cool check to see if you can put out the gas station fire in time, using your knowledge of how gas stations work.
Oh, yeah.
14. Yeah, you started the fire and you ended the fire with all of 3 of you working, and Celeste, you're able to catch up right around the time that the fire starts to get under control using their emergency procedures. It takes a while for it to completely burn down, but you're able to isolate it, to keep it from spreading, and then to slowly put it down. As you finally do, all of you taking some time there at the gas station, once the smoke begins to clear, you see that the earth at the gas station is upturned and that it looks like there's a hole there and that dirt has filled in the hole. It looks very similar to what you saw in the grocery store. You do not see the worm or any remains of the worm.
Looks as though the worm still lives.
Apparently so. A rough bastard.
Very much. Let's get some medicine and get back.
Yeah,
Well-
agreed.
You are able to get some medicine from the local doctor's office. It will help the child who's sick, conceivably. We're going to wrap up our story here in a minute. What I want to know first is once you get back to the movie theater, to the little community there, what's everyone's plan? And I want to start with Raya.
What's my plan? Well, I mean, my plan now, because they already got the medicine, so Raya's thinking to herself, she is like, whew, now I don't have to feel bad. So she has a car, and without, okay, hold on. Do I have to, I'm assume here. We start pulling up. She goes in a strange direction first, and then she turns quickly, and she's like, oh, stop that way! Because I have 2 cars, technically other cars that I get because of my checks. I'm like, nope, better park it over here while they're in the car, thinking to myself. And I park it, and I'm like, I guess it's now like an open. So what are you guys gonna do after this entrancing affair?
But
You guys-
Bernard,
I will try to finish up here and then continue to the next community. And help up there.
I'm going to Las Vegas. I heard it's a safe place over there.
I had nothing else as well, so wish
She-
you the best of luck.
She leans back and she says, you know, it's probably for the best that you stay here.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of big towns, so
It's a place that never sleeps.
yeah, I like sleeping, so
Sin City.
Since Tish mentioned going to Las Vegas, Rutherford has just been looking at Celeste.
how is Celeste right now that she's rejoined them?
She
Is
would have
okay?
gone to help the child, and then would have gone just sideways, just at the edge, somewhere quiet, just sitting on one of the seats, like on the lean on top, really just sitting there and having something in her hand and staring at it.
Rutherford, you see this.
What is it, Celeste? What did you find?
Not sure you want to see this.
I would appreciate it if you stopped assuming what is good and bad for me. I understand you are my older sister, but I'm big enough and ugly enough to look after myself.
You would probably see her, like, if you look closer, that she has tears in her eyes, and she would just hold it out, and you would see dangling a medallion that you would probably know as well.
Where did you find it?
The skeleton the worm threw up with us, and Randall Black was there.
Okay.
He's inviting us to Vegas. We should join him on the good side.
I do not believe it is the good side, but I still agree. We should go to Vegas to try and find Cassie. If New Orleans is where the nuke is and where they are trying to gather people like us, then we don't want to go to New Orleans. Come to Las Vegas, Celeste. Come to Las Vegas.
I'm with. He's sounding just like him. That freaks out like nothing. I'm with you on New Orleans, but I'm not going there. He is playing all strings to get us there. She would have never given that up. Never. She's dead.
Exactly. She's not dead. I refuse to believe it. The more I think about it, the more I refuse to believe it. If there's even a slim chance that she's alive in Las Vegas, then we must help her. We must go to Las Vegas.
And do what?
Save her. Something.
There's no way we can save her from him.
We've avoided him so far. We've
did.
combated him so far. He will not leave us alone wherever we go. It's only going to be a matter of time until he picks us off. Come to Las Vegas, Celeste. Let's finish this.
He didn't even try to finish us off. If he wants to, I'm quite sure he could.
What makes you think that? I haven't seen any evidence of his power so much. We could really use some group therapy in Las Vegas.
I'm not sure Vegas is the right spot at the moment, but okay. That shirt is perfect. I still want to check out the lab here. It must be here. I want to see if we can find the others or anything else on them. Would you at least do that for me?
Look, I agreed that we should stay. These people seem like good people. We should stay and help them sort out this worm and maybe investigate the lab. But if the lab is underground or anything like that, I have a feeling the worm may already have... Or maybe even the worm originated there.
Oh god. I would at least want to try and find out if it's here and have a look. And
But
honestly,
then...
I'm still not
Then we go to Las Vegas.
on the side to go Las Vegas. And stop saying that. You sound just like him.
What do you mean? I'm just saying we should go to Las Vegas.
That's what he said over and over and over and over.
And as the two of you sit there still arguing about whether you're going to go to Las Vegas or not, having decided that you will stick around to at least investigate the town a little further, we're going to end our story for this week. We will return to Wyandotte next week for a part 2 with some new characters in the mix. But I'm surprised that you are all still alive and very, very, very happy. So
I should be so dead.
so dead, so close.
Oh god.
We're gonna end there for this week, though. I want to say thank you, Ed. Thank you, Saito, for coming in and guest starring today. Loved your characters.
Thank
A
you.
very action-packed episode, which I really enjoyed. But we're gonna wrap it up. I want to go around. Tell us where we can find you online, what else you're up to, and if there's anything particular you enjoyed about today or any lingering thoughts you have about the story or the campaign, or if this is I think it was your first times playing Monster of the Week, how you liked Monster of the Week. And let's go ahead and start with Ed.
Yes, I don't exist on internet. I got a Twitch, but that's just because Kat is adamant about being DM'd on Twitch, not Twitch, Twitter. First time playing both Monster of the Week and Powered by the Apocalypse. I really like the system. I'm simple enough, so to speak. I really like that the rolls controls you too, so you don't roll at all. I really like that system, I must say. I do like the barbecue. Freaking awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, speaking of barbecue, Raya, I thought she was going to be the villain, but she kind of saved the day. That was smooth.
She's a terrible villain. She steps in her way all the time. Like if they would have gotten there and been like, "Oh, we forgot the that's why I stuck one underneath the seat," like skillfully, because if we would have got there like we forgot it, I'd been like, "Oh, there's some antibiotics underneath the seat." Where did that come from? Don't worry about it. It's underneath the seat. Just go give it to the child. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It could be worse.
It's
You're
fine.
But now that she's like, Now she knows everything's fine. She's like, I'm just gonna put that right back in the bag.
I mean, she's taken off out of town, right? She kind of made out like a bandit in this episode. She got hot fries, she got medicine, drugs, a car. That's a good day. It's a good day for her, I think.
Well,
tell us where we can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, pretty much most social medias. Same username, Milady Saito. I do love any tabletop gaming, as well as I love to play video games, period. You can always hit me up, send me messages, and I dress up and look crazy all the time. So that's just my personality.
Was this your first time playing a Powered by the Apocalypse game, this system?
It was. I did enjoy it a lot. I thought it was a really neat system. It's a really neat system. Since joining and being able to play different games, I've always only played 3.5 and 3, so you can tell I'm very closeted and extremely rule bound. So it's interesting, especially more relaxed, seeing things that are not more a different take, you would say, without having that stressful environment.
I love. I grew up with old school D&D too. I love D&D, and even the really crunchy versions like 3 and 3.5, I still enjoy. But I agree. There's something freeing about the idea that collaboratively we can decide like what's the really cool thing that happens here, what's the really bad thing that happens here, and very quickly too. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, great. Let's go ahead and go on over to Vicky. Hi, Vicky.
Yes, I'm a puppy worm.
I'm surprised we were all still alive, I have to say. I was suspecting worm the moment we had, we found the X hole in the ground, but let's see. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, I think even as well, on QT_V. I will be back here next week. Follow every one of us around, and I think we all post online if we are somewhere in a game. And thank you to the other two for joining us. It was a fun and stressful episode at the same time, so it was positively mad. Really fun. And looking forward probably to next week.
I love that you guys. So one of the things we do, and I'll follow up with the two of you too, is if you guest on the show, then I always write a little writing prompt afterwards and try and get some ideas for what's next for your characters. I want to make sure that even if you're only in one episode, you're still able to contribute to the ongoing story. Something that we've been able to do so far. It's really fun. I love doing it. So you can expect that from me. But I also love the idea that you guys are choosing where you're going to. It is really open-ended. And because it's an improv-based game, we can go anywhere. We can do anything. I love that you guys decided to stick around in Wyandotte. We've not done that. You guys have always moved between towns each week previously. So next week, we're going to get to explore a little bit more of this town. I think that's super cool. Before I hand it to Scrat, you can follow me at Donathan Fry on Twitter. It's out there in the chat. I do run other games and play lots of other games throughout the weeks. I write D&D modules and adventures. I do a bunch of different things. You can follow me there, find out about what I'm up to. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tales from the Grim is my Dark Dragon Lance 5e campaign, May Black Roses Bloom. That's sort of my project, my big project of the heart. I have lots of them right now, but that's the one that if you haven't checked it out, I definitely encourage you to check it out sometime. It's just with a fantastic cast, and I love doing that. I love being here on Mondays. I'm really looking forward to next week. But for now, I'm going to pass it over to Scrat to wrap things up.
Oh, hi. Wow. So many good moments from this. One of my favorite things out of the game was the confusion on the hot fries. I was literally thinking, like, somehow Tish had started up a fat fryer and was, like, frying up some, like, hot, like, chips. I thought, like, you know, British fish and chip style chips. And it wasn't until I googled hot fries, because I was like, "What? How is there a box of hot fries?" Like,
they were posting them in the chat. They were posting the hot fries in the chat. I was like, "That's exactly what we're talking about right there." I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. That's like a cultural thing. Like, of course, if you're not American, why would you ever know what hot fries are?
The difference between chips and crisps is complicated enough, but then calling some chips or crisp hot fries, that's just adding an extra layer of confusion into the whole thing. Because I'm sitting there thinking like, oh no, I thought you meant like chips. No, wait, you think that chips are chips. No, not chips. I mean like crisps.
Fries.
No, fries. Ah! Ah! Yes. So that was fun. But also just like I love today's interactions. You guys were amazing. I love the energy that was coming off of Tish and the absolute kleptomania. Ed, you were so ready to go down, or at least give it everything you had before you did go down. It was awesome. I appreciated that. Vicky is going to carry on being interesting between our characters, I think.
Oh god, I still have no idea how we want to solve that. We'll see.
Yeah, me neither, but I know what Rutherford wants to do. I'm just going to keep plugging away at it. But also, we don't often take a moment to, like, discuss your DMing style, Don, because, like, it's a viewer game where we always bring up new people. We sort of sometimes brush past it, but I've just got... You are always so on top of everything. It's amazing. Like, nothing sways you or makes you falter. You always have a plan. And not only that, you're also 100% on top of when we've hit our retweet goal. What's going on in chat? What's happening over here? Like, as someone who also has to do that juggling of many things at once, you're an icon. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say too about the retweets. That potion for the polymorph is what saved Bernard. That was, I thought that was literally.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, God.
So I do have some things to wrap up with. We have social links. Check out our Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want a game, send me a DM on Twitter. We also have a Patreon where you can check out some free articles over there about roleplay games and other things. And you can support us over there too. We have merch over on Redbubble there. We also have sponsors in Bird in the Storm. No, that's not how you do it. Bird in the Storm Publishing. You can catch them there. We also have done some of their modules on stream. They're really cool. They're a writing company that makes D&D modules. And also we have Magehand Press as a sponsor. They created the Dark Matter Alpha, which is a sci-fi expansion for D&D 5e. And we might be promoting something a little different next season. I might be running a different Magehand Press campaign. It will not be in space. It will be something else. So more interesting things to come from them. That's everything from me. Check out the panels for some other stuff as well. 10 to 15% discount in certain places. This has been a hell of a ride. We are going now to go and raid someone who's just starting up for the day. Hopefully they'll still have their raid response up because it's amazing. We're going to go and pay a visit to Madame Gandalf. If I can spell it. Which I can. So yeah, thank you very much for coming along, everyone. Until next time, keep on evoking emotions, and we'll see you later on. Bye!
Bye.